This is the moment the rugby league world froze. The game's greatest player in desperate danger of missing this grand final qualifier.
The Cowboys will have their big gun ready to fire in this weekend's Rugby League Grand Final qualifier after skipper Jonathan Thurston was cleared at the judiciary tonight.
Now, let the game begin in all its glory. These Manley Warringah Sea Eagles, from a proud club dating back to 1947, and 4 premierships in the 70s alone. If you didn't live on the northern beaches of Sydney, you hated them. Why? Because they were the Silvertails, and they were also too darn good.
There it is, it's all over for 1987.
As for these new frontier Cowboys, when they made their only grand final in 2005, they were everyone's second team. Only 10 years old and so close to a premiership, it hurt.
Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Pat Richards has scored a magnificent try. Length of the field stuff.
Tonight, it's the speed and footwork of Watmo, the testing of Orford, the genius of Brett Stewart,
Out to Stewart, the fullback, looking for another.
and the legend of Menzies.
It is a try for Menzies.
Up against the magic of Matt Burrow, the inspiration of a bit of pain, and this grand escapade, the game's greatest player. All's well that ends well. The Sea Eagles versus the Cowboys. Just 80 minutes from the 2007 NRL Grand Final. Live and exclusive on the home of big-time rugby league, Channel 9.
It is every player's dream to be involved in a first-grade rugby league grand final, and for Manly and North Queensland, that prospect is now just 80 minutes away as we welcome you live and exclusive to the Sydney Football Stadium. A good crowd has made their way in. Thank you for joining us. Our coverage of the NRL finals, we are into week 3, and tonight it is the first grand final qualifier with the Eagles up against the Cowboys. Not far away from kickoff, and I'm joined to take us through there by Phil Gould, Matthew Johns and Ben Eichen. And guys, a collective sigh of relief from North Queensland during the week with that decision. Jonathan Thurston defending the dangerous tackle charge. In the context of tonight, what does that decision mean?
Well, I think we all grow a debt of gratitude to the 3 ex-players who sat on that judiciary panel who let him off so that he could play here tonight. That was the right decision. It was the only right decision all week. It was ridiculous he got charged. It was ridiculous that it could have cost him a final. And his defence was even ridiculous, but thankfully they swallowed it and they've allowed him to play tonight.
It's got a few demons, hasn't it? But it was the best decision. I agree with Gus. Look, they needed it. They needed him to play tonight. The fans needed him to play. The game needed him to play. And I think more than anything, the Cowboys need him out there. He is the best player in the world. They needed him on the paddock tonight.
In the last 2 weeks, 30 points from Jonathan Thurston, 2 tries and 11 goals, 11 from 11. He's doing it all. But what about this performance last week? 49-12 over the Warriors. They trailed 12-6. Matt, what impressed you most about this victory?
Look, Thurston, he's unbelievable. Look, they go into this match tonight, the Cowboys as underdogs. But Thurston's the king. He's the king of the NRL. And let me tell you, when you've got the king in your side, and he's the best player in the world, no matter who you play, you've got arrogance. You're going to win the football game.
What about the forgotten man? Tonight he comes up against Matt Orford, who's very influential for Melbourne. Is now the time when Matt Orford stamps his authority at the highest level?
Well, Pete, they brought him here to win these type of games, Manly. Big test for the Ox tonight, for his focus. You know, he's got to think tonight it's about his side. It's not about Orford versus Thurston. Because in the past, he wants to win these games so bad that he goes out there, puts a lot of pressure on himself. He tries to throw the absolute pass, the magical kick to his side and to his detriment. Tonight he needs to relax, guide his side around the park, kick well, Gus.
I think the difference between Manly and the Cowboys is that we understand that Thurston and Bowen are great individuals and that is their strength. The strength of the Manly team is the team as a unit. And Matt Orford has got to get everyone into the game. Not get himself into the game and think that he's got to win it. He's got to bring Jamie Lyon and Steve Bell and Matt I and Stewart and these fellas into the game, make sure they see plenty of ball and that they play as a cohesive unit, because that's how they've got to where they are so far.
Well, the unlucky man tonight for Manly is Chris Hicks. Only missed 1 game, and that is tonight. Glenn Stewart will play.
Let's have a look at the side. At the back, the try-scoring predator Brett Stewart. On the wings, Michael Robinson and Michael Barney, who's in for Chris Hicks, as you said, Sterlo. In the centres, the speed and class of Stephen Bell and the raw aggression of Stevie Maddai. A lot of power there. Big responsibility for the halves. Jamie Lyon and Matt Orford, who really needs to get his side into the game, as Gus said. Now the back row for Manly. They're the key to absorbing the Bowen, Thurston threat and attack. Luke Williamson, Anthony Watmo and the skillful Glenn Stewart. Up front, you got big Jason King and big Brett Kite, and hookers vital to their chances, Michael Monaghan. The bench, Mark Bryant, Beaver Menzies, Jack Afamasunga, Adam Cuthberts and the coaches Desi Hasler.
Now this is a side who've come off the week's break. In the last 3 years, 6 of the teams have had that week off. 4 of them have been beaten. I guess a little bit of a concern, Gus, with that break, as we see Steve Maddai, who was a little bit proppy in the warm-up out there, is the fact they're not really at their best tonight, despite that break.
Yeah, it's right too. They've had a long time to name their side. Glenn Stewart's only a late inclusion. Chris Hicks is not there. It is a concern, and particularly with Manly too. They really thrive on the grinding type football and, you know, wearing their opposition down. I just get a little concerned tonight that with this speed and brilliance in the Cowboys side, they might fly out of the box. Manly might be caught short and they mightn't catch up. They've really got to begin well tonight as a team.
Well, the man guiding their fortune tonight, their coach Des Hasler. Here's what Des had to say to Andrew Voss.
Des, the Manly side coming off the fortnight break, are you confident you've ticked all the boxes, covered all bases in preparing the side for tonight?
Yeah, no, we've had a good lead up this week, good build up, and we're probably in a position where we needed the week off, so it's worked out well.
Players to concentrate on their own performance, but how do you combat the great form of Jonathan Thurston?
Yeah, mate, obviously, you know, he's been in good form, but we think we've got a fairly handy 7 and a fairly handy 1 to combat that.
What will Jonathan Thurston's tackle count be tonight?
It'll be in the teens.
Go on, Des. Good luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
100 first-grade games in charge last week for Des Hasler. Would love to start his 2nd century in the right manner tonight. How do Manly go about it? What are the tactics?
Well, I think it's all about defence of Manly tonight. I mean, there's no doubting that the Cowboys can score points, but if they get their line speed right, if they're pushing hard off the line, getting the face of the playmakers of the Cowboys, they're getting numbers in tackles, slowing down the play of the ball, which allows them to retreat and then get up in the face of the Cowboys again. If they can do that consistently well across the 80 minutes, they are really going to pressure the Cowboys into making some unforced errors.
I've watched the Bulldogs and the Warriors in the last 2 weeks, and I think they've played really dumb. I think they've really thought that they could outmuscle the Cowboys in the forwards. A lot of players out, only young fellas in there. But those young Cowboys have got up quickly and really stifled them. I think Manly have got to play fast out of dummy half. They've got to get the outside backs of the Cowboys and Jonathan Thurston's tackle counts up. They've got to wear them down. And I really think they've got to play them on the edges of the field. The Bulldogs and the Warriors played dumb. Manly have got to play smart in attack. All right? Defensively, I've got no real worries for Manly. I know the Cowboys are going to score 15 points. Manly have got to come up with more to beat them.
Just quickly, I will say that the timing of Jonathan Thurston announcing that he's going to undergo a double shoulder reconstruction isn't good.
Not good.
Put a circle around him.
Yeah, and we can confirm no Ben Kennedy tonight as well. Now, throughout the course of the final series, we have told you about the Carlton Draft Plastic Cup competition. Very easy to get involved. Go out and buy a carton of Carlton Draft. On NRL Grand Final Day, you may win there, and that will lead you down to Tattersalls Cox Plate Day in Melbourne. A chance of $100,000 if you are successful down there, and that is the website, www.plasticcup.com.au. Stephen Menzies laying down the law to his players. We'll take a break, be back very shortly live to the Sydney Football Stadium.
Sunday, one of television's best ever dramas, and this year's hottest newcomer, 8:30 CSI.
There's the great man, Steve Menzies. Menzies is away. There's the first try. Menzies has always been there with his hand up. Always offered his services through the game.
He's a legend of the game. He's been around for a long time. He's won a premiership. He's played for his state and country. He's a great asset to have.
Menzies! Menzies for 13 try. Menzies is away. Will they stop him? No, they won't. Menzies, 166 career tries.
You know, he stood the test of time. He brings a lot of enthusiasm, not just experience. You know, he's been there, done that, so he's also good for your team.
Beaver Menzies leads the way. Good tackle, Menzies. Shoulder from Menzies.
Steve Menzies, he brings confidence to our team. You know, he's been there for a long time. He's played in some big games, and certainly someone we look to.
Menzies for the line. It is a try for Menzies. Look who's there for Beaver. Steve Menzies. Does not get it away for Menzies, and Manley are over.
After 321 first-grade games, 20 origins and 15 tests, the 33-year-old Steve Menzies still exerting enormous influence over his teammates. And guys, with Jason Smith missing tonight for North Queensland, maybe Steve Menzies off the bench becomes even more profound.
Well, the old Beaver, he's just like one of those Hunter Valley Reds. Cabernet Sauvignon and a Pinot Noir. It gets better with age, but yeah, seriously, his speed and footwork. They won 30-6 against the Rabbitohs, but he was the difference. He scored the vital tries, and he's a handful.
You know where I think Steve Menzies would have been the difference in the week leading up to this game. 321 games. Jamie Lyon said he's very enthusiastic, but he tempers that with a real laid-back personality. He would have been a real calming influence on the Manly team this week.
One of the game's great defenders, and on that subject, Gus, normally at these big games I look at the best defensive team, but I think that goes out the window with the Cowboys, because it's not how they win. If you score 30, they'll get 35. If you score 40, they'll get 45.
Peter, the thing that's concerned me about the last two premierships is that the best team hasn't won the competition. You know, the team that's got a bit of a surge on through August and September has come home and beat the best team in the competition. Tigers did it last year, the Broncos did it. This year, Manly and the Storm have put a very high price on their performance every week, and they're up against two teams in the Cowboys and Parramatta who have great skill, great flair, but haven't played great every week. In some weeks they've been terrible, but all of a sudden come September they've got a bit of a sniff of it and they're back to their best form. I think you can throw past form out the window. The Cowboys have got a little bit of an edge on Manly. They'll come here fairly confident, but just like in these big games like the fact that they've done it every week with the discipline and the defence, it should stand them in good stead.
OK, well, our intrepid reporter Andrew Voss has been watching the Cowboys warm up over at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and he has got some interesting news coming out of their preparation. What can you tell us, Vossy?
Well, Sterlo, I don't want to send alarm bells off up all around North Queensland, but I'm concerned about Matty Bowen, watching them warm up at the SCG. Now, it's a very cool evening in Sydney. This was the story last Sunday against the Warriors. We saw him come out with a heavy strapping on his right thigh, protecting a cork that he'd suffered against the Bulldogs. Now, the idea of a warm-up is to get loosened up, but I'm telling you, Matt Bowen in warm-up out there just moments ago, not all that flash. These are the pictures just moments ago from the SCG, and Matty Bowen well behind his teammates on a lot of the work in warm-up. I'm concerned that Matt Bowen is taking a leg injury into tonight. He's not 100% fit. I hope he makes monkeys out of all of us and he has a superb game. But Matt Bowen, I'm telling you, not that flash in the warm-up for the Cowboys.
I watched him at Dairy Farmers last week and you could tell that he wasn't right. Next minute he caught a football, put the afterburner down and beat 4 to score. So I don't know if he can be overly.
Well, he set up 2 tries and scored one after I declared they've got to take him off. Then he went off. Look, you know, it's a big game, and in a big game you throw your last man in. I've got no doubt that he is carrying injury into this contest. He won't want physical contact. That'll be up to the front line defenders to keep the attack away from him. I still think he'll play a hand here tonight, the little maestro. Have a look at him. There he is, Matty Bowen.
Let's have a look at their lineup. One man we know who's missing is Carl Webb.
Well, here's the guy we spoke about, the fullback, Matt Bowen. How good a 2007 as he had. On the wings, Ty Williams, and in jersey number 13, Mark Henry. In the centres, Ash Graham, who scored 18 tries this season, had a ripper year. He'll partner Ben Farah. In the halves, Justin Smith, the ever-reliable defender, will partner the world's best player, their halfback and captain, Jonathan Thurston. The back row, and look, up against the Manly back row, looks a little bit unfashionable, but they get the job done. Paul Bowman will lock the scrum. Sam Faust and Matt Bartlett are the second rowers. And up front, Big Ben Vayu, the ball-playing front rower, gets his chance with Carl Webb on the sidelines, alongside Matt Scott and Aaron Payne, the very creative hooker who's been in great form for the Cowboys. The benches, David Fayumu, Jacob Lillyman, Ray Cashmere and Shane Mushbrad, who next year will head down to the Mackay Cutters in the Queensland Cup, and the coach is Graham Murray.
And they are a side that has enormous momentum. They won their last 7 in a row. It is a club record. Let's hear from their coach, Graham Murray.
Graham, the side showed last week you can overcome the loss of Carl Webb. Tonight you've got to throw the experienced Jason Smith into the mix as well.
Yeah, we'll miss Jason a bit and also Carl, but we've overcome a few of the hurdles in the last few weeks, so I think we can do it again.
What about the contrasting conditions? How sapping was last Sunday's game against the Warriors, and now tonight you come here and it's almost like a Sydney winter.
Yeah, it's quite cool, which, you know, it is a winter sport, and you know, I think the game last week didn't take a hell of a lot out of us. I know that might sound funny because it was very hot, but you know, it was a pretty easy performance in the end. You know, there was plenty of breaks in the game, so it didn't take a lot out of us.
You get the last word, Graham. What wins it for the Cowboys tonight?
Oh, I think completions and a bit of belief that we can still play at this level and win games.
All the best.
Thanks, Andy.
And Graham looking to make his third trip to the big one. 2000 with the Roosters, 2005 with the North Queensland Cowboys, hoping that the third trip there will be the successful one. Bundaberg Run Man of the Match competition continues tonight. Your chance to win $1,000 by correctly naming who we choose as the Bundy Run Man of the Match. You can phone that number there or text 19955499. That will stay open until 9:20 tonight Eastern Standard Time. The winner will be announced on the Thursday Night Footy Show, the grand finale Thursday Night Footy Show. So keep an eye out for that and get involved before 9:20. Down to the sheds now. Nervous time for the players. The Cowboys, as I say, they were there in 2005. They would love to go one better this year. Our first grand final qualifier live here at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Seagulls up against the Cowboys. We'll take a break. Be back with Ray Warren and the kickoff in just a moment.
Between Manley, second place team, and North Queensland. First time they've finished in the top four, and of course the crowd dominated by maroon and white, as the 70s were by Manley when they won 4 premierships in a total of 6 times that they've done the lap of honour. Last time in '96, and now Jonathan Thurston leading the Cowboys out onto a ground that hasn't been kind to them. I think they've only won something like 4 of their 13 at the Sydney Football Stadium. Thurston takes the Cowboys out. Welcome North Queensland. Welcome wherever you're watching it. First team to the grand final. We will know in an hour and a half from now. He's appropriately called the best player in the world. He dissected them last weekend. He's been doing it all season long. Head-to-head, they've met 11 times, and this team, Manley, have beaten the Cowboys 6-5. But the last time they played, the Cowboys beat them at Dairy Farmers 30-26 after leading 14-0 at halftime. Now the Eagles. They've won 8 of their last 10. They'll get a rousing reception when they hit the football stadium. Provides a great atmosphere here. Brett Stewart the one. Manley and the Cowboys were given a guard of honour by the Merry War Magpies under-8s and the Narromine Jets under-8s. The youngsters of the future. Why wouldn't you love him? Second highest try scorer ever, and doing most of it from the second row. 167 tries. Stephen Menzies. Glenn Stewart to play. He was under scrutiny of the trainers as he stretched the hamstrings. Paul Simpkins coming from left field to do this match tonight. His 16th finals appointment. Will he get the big one? Time on. Will Manley give Sydney a side in the grand final next weekend? Brent Kite in his 6th final appearance. He's played in 5 and never won. Now a charge from the 8th. Jason King. Monahan turning it back to Watmo. Play to the Manley 40-metre line as Monahan drifts out to the right towards centre ground. Tackle there by Aaron Payne in company with Matthew Scott. And the first kick of the game coming on. An early tackle and immediately a test for Bowen. And now there's a problem. Robertson's tackled, but there's a problem with Orford. Did you see it, Peter?
I saw the kick. He's up on his feet now. It was an excellent kick, and that is one of the strengths, the kick and chase of Manley. I don't think there's too much in it. That's just Scott coming through. Shoulder charge. Orford stays down. He's up now. Cowboys keeping it alive on their own line before Scott takes it forward, 15 out.
Peter Sterling and Phil Gould in the commentary position with me as the number 19 for the Cowboys. Ben Vayu goes out towards 30, down the middle of the ground, met by Glenn Stewart. Then Scott with that left thigh heavily taped. Ball to be played by the 11, the second rower, Sam Faust. Back to Bowen to kick. And it is fielded by Robertson back on his 20-metre line. Runs towards Thurston. They'll be running plenty of plays at Jonathan Thurston, but you don't need to be a rocket scientist to be told that.
And that's a really good sign, the fact that they're prepared to get Matt Bowen to kick the football. They had a choice there of Thurston to the left, Bowen to the right. His leg can't be too bad if he's prepared to take the long kicks. So Stewart offloads. Bell takes the bouncing ball.
Ball bounced forward, but that's not considered to be a forward pass. This is Barney in his third first-grade game from the Torres Strait Islands. Monahan sweeping it off the ground away to Orford to switch the point of the attack back to the short side, where it's with Jamie Lyon. And now they're 35 away from the line as Orford puts a little kick in, a gentle kick down towards the goal line at the northern end, being defended by the Cowboys. Bowen went from standing still to top speed there very quickly. And it's gone across to his wing three-quarter, Ty Williams.
Oh, that's great to watch. I don't think there's another team in the competition who'd be prepared to do that. They picked up 15 metres by being adventurous as Justin Smith takes it centre field.
25 away from the Cowboys line now. This is the third time they've been in the preliminary finals in the last 4 years, so their record is good. Of course, they made one grand final. They're yet to take out the big one. Will they get a chance this year? So on the halfway line, the back of the ruck play, as the ball goes away with Ben Vayu to the 40-metre line, Manley's end of the park. And to Thurston, he puts a kick in. He drives it low and deep, and it bounces off the upright, and problems for Stewart, but he reacted very well. And Brett Stewart is pulled down 15 away from his line. That in itself is not a bad effort, considering the punctuation mark with the kick. Anthony Watmoe at the 20-metre line. 20 metres in from touch, western side as well. There was big concern over this fellow in warm-up, Steve Maddai. Stephen Bell's centre three-quarter partner. Now Monahan thinks he's found a player, not direct, and he's through Monahan. He's got one to beat, support is coming. Orford with the little legs are pumping, he loses the ball. Matt Bowen, superb in defence.
Well, Matty Bowen this year has set up a lot of tries and scored a lot of tries, but I'll tell you what, I reckon he saved twice as many, and he saves another one here. Beautiful bust by Monahan. Orford comes up in support. He times the pass okay, but Bowen has got them both covered. And with the bad leg and everything, he gets not only Orford, but he gets the ball and stops the pass. Saves another one. What a play.
And this is Faust with the ball on the 30-metre line, his own end of the park. Thurston turning it in for Scott, who played in one Origin match. And now he's 5 metres from the halfway line at the Sydney Football Stadium on the opening night of the grand final qualifiers. As Thurston dummies and throws a long ball, but it's a bad pass. It's over there with Ashley Graham. And Graham to the 40-metre line, throwing a little dummy before giving it to Justin Smith, who's tackled on the 40. So Justin Smith, Jason not in the game. Neither is Carl Webb. Just repeating the news from the preview, if you just joined us for kickoff. Webb and Smith out of the side for the Cowboys as Bowen puts a kick in. And it's with Brett Stewart coming outside his 10-metre line. The Cowboys' chase was quite good. And Manley with the ball down at the southern end of the ground, 18 metres away from their own line, played by Stewart. Robertson is the runner with the ball now, and 21 metres out from their line.
That chase was led by Matty Bowen. Matty Bowen made first contact on his opposite number. There can't be too much wrong with his leg. I think he just doesn't like the cold weather.
As Bowen jogging back into position as Barney, after his second hit up of the game, plays the ball. Monahan, he will play the ball back to Orford, who shunts Williamson out of the road. Here's a penalty to Manley. It's against Bowman.
And rightly so. It took a long time, Paul Bowman, playing again at the back of the scrum. The tackle's completed there. He continues on. He pushes down. And really tested the referee's patience with that one to give away our first penalty of the evening.
And of course, defeat tonight will see the end of a great career for Paul Bowman, who's played 202 first-grade games, all for the Cowboys. And of course, origin for Queensland as King is tackled 35 metres away from the Cowboys line. Monahan goes to Kite, and Kite takes it to within 25 metres of the line, tackled by Aaron Payne. And then Monahan, they play the ball quickly and they gain some good meterage away from dummy half. From Monahan, a chance for Manley. Williamson to Orford. Orford behind Watmoe. Back to Brett Stewart. Here's a try coming for Robertson. Robertson completes on the left, but they're going up to the video referee.
Yes, Cowboys were claiming that Ashley Graham didn't make a read in defence, didn't have a chance to make a play in defence because one of the decoy runners is in his way. Michael Robertson, one of the players in the Seagulls lineup, yet to miss a game this season. Now Orford goes second man. Have a look at Steve Maddai. Gets in the way of Ashley Graham coming across. And that's where the Cowboys will claim that there is interference. And I think they'll have a pretty strong case because Steve Maddai just stands in his way.
I don't think there's any doubt. See, what happens here, we're not saying that Graham would have got across and covered the try scorer. We're saying that Ty Williams wouldn't have had to come in on Brett Stewart, and he could have stayed on his own man. Now, if Graham didn't get checked in running there, he could have assisted, and Ty Williams would have made a better read.
So it's a penalty. No try, obstruction against Manley.
And it is so good that we have got this right in the second half of the season after all the hassle and consternation where the interpretation was much different in those early rounds.
Some good signs, Peter, though, for the Manly side. I like the way that Watmoe and these fellas are working out a dummy half. Monahan really putting some pressure on before they go to the edges.
They look like a team that's had a week off and look good for it.
Vayu, meantime, takes it away for the Cowboys up towards halfway, 7 metres short, in fact, right down the middle of the ground. And then Payne with a short pass to Scott. It was a hospital pass, though, because he put him straight onto the shoulder of Glenn Stewart. 5 metres into opposition territory, the Cowboys launching an attack with Bowman. And Bowman is tackled 31 metres out from the line. 18 metres in from the eastern side, tackled by Jamie Lyon, has come to Thurston. Thurston, a couple of decoys going back on the other way, and then it's away to Bowen out wide. And reassuring to see him taking the line kicks and kicking in general play, Bowen, as the number 12 takes it up towards the 20-metre line. Matthew Bartlett. So the Cowboys with sight of the try line. And Thurston comes in. And the ball is with Brett Stewart again, getting it back into the field of play, running into the shoulder of Vayu, and down underneath was Sam Faust. Now for Barney.
Rabbits, 3 attacking sets there by the Cowboys, and they've all come towards Steve Maddai's side of the field. We know Maddai can be dragged up and in defence. That's the gap they're looking for outside the Manly centre.
Maddai tidied up by Justin Smith. There was a bit of push and shove after the play, the ball. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, Rabs, great atmosphere down here tonight. Look, I just want to say about the Manly attack, I'll back up what the boys said. I thought against South they played too sideways. Tonight, they're very direct. Not so much the focal point, 1 or 2 passes wide. It's all off Monahan. Very good.
That kick is off Monahan as well. It's bouncing away towards the sideline. Ty Williams watching it go.
Wow. He's called this inside the 40.
Well, I think he's kicked it outside the 40, hasn't he?
Well, I think he was inside his own 40, but I thought the ball went out before the 20-metre zone.
Well, this is a huge call.
I thought he was going to kick it down the other side of the field, but he hooked it back. It got a wicked bounce, and I think the linesman's been very benevolent. He's inside the 40, no problem. I think this goes out before the 20. He gets a terrible kick here. And the linesman's going to come down and say it goes over the 20-metre line. I don't think it does. But I'm bloated if I know how a video referee can decide. The video referee will give the scrum feed, I think, to the Cowboys and say it was outside the 20. Look where he marked that. I don't think it was inside the 20.
I think they operate on Pythagoras' theorem there and get the set square out and put it up. And
well, the linesman got it wrong, but I don't know how the video referee can be called upon to work out whether it went inside the 20.
Well, surely he had more chance of getting it right than the touch judge. He was 100 miles away.
We've been using touch judges for 100 years, Rabbit.
I didn't say we haven't been, but he certainly wasn't as close as the video referee was on re-examination. That's all I'm saying. Here's Graham with the ball. 20 metres out from the Cowboys line. Aaron Pay up the middle, little scurry, getting it back to Bowman. Bowman taken over the top by Williamson, also involved in the tackle with Brent Kite, and Monaghan just came away clutching at the shoulder. He's okay though. Matthew Scott is with the ball now. Just inside 40, 20 metres in, eastern side of the ground. No score in the opening grand final qualifier between the Cowboys, Team 3, and Manley, Team 2, and Vayu is slow to get up. Vayu is injured. Now Bowen coming up on the left. He puts on a sprint, and he's tackled 43 metres out from the Manley line. Manley finished second, as far as Melbourne beat them past the post at the end of the regular season, and Thurston rolls it over the sideline.
And deliberately so. Wasn't looking for an attacking kick, just looking to get it over the sideline, as we again tell you about our Bundaberg Rum Man of the Match competition. There's the telephone number, the SMS text number. $1,000 could be coming your way if you correctly select the man that is chosen. And that will close tonight at 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. And the winner announced Thursday night on the footy show, NRL footy show.
Scrum packing 10 away from the Manley line. Manley's feed, Manley's loose. And off it goes to Bell, and Bell at first receiver was swallowed up by the Cowboys defence. 3 of them originally, before Bartlett and Faust continued on. And here's Watmough with another strong break. Cowboys, of course, have had a luckless season. Jason Smith among the players up there in the bench, but when you look at the forwards that they've now got missing, which include O'Donnell and Southern, it's been a big effort to get this far. That's a great kick.
That's a 40-20.
That is no dispute.
That's a 40-10, and Ben Kennedy, and we can again confirm he's not playing tonight. Applauds from the sideline. But he has been flown down to give support to his former teammates, and Michael Monaghan having a real influence on this game in a number of different ways. Made a great burst, which nearly led to a try. That's his second 40-20 attempt.
That's his favourite kick too, Peter. That's the one he practices, off the outside of the foot down the right-hand side of the field. That's why I was surprised he hooked the first one back. But maybe he was signalling to Bowen, you know, don't assume I'm always going to go the one way. Came up pay time that time. Here come the Eagles.
So Orford sweeping it away to Jamie Lyon, and Lyon put down 10 metres out from the Cowboys line, and a real chance here for Manley, with Brett Stewart wrestling and struggling and reversing towards the line, and that's how close he is, only 1.5 metres out. Monaghan bullets it across to Orford. Orford got it back to Glenn Stewart, then Brent Kite back to Orford. Orford is wrestling on the 10-metre line out from the try line. And Orford to play the ball for Manley. Tackle eventually by Bowman. Monaghan goes back to Glenn Stewart, and Stewart is close again to the line, right in the middle of the ground. Held down there by Vayu, and a penalty to Manley, right in front of the uprights. A presentation two-pointer.
I'd be taking the tap rate. I know that it is a gift too, and they're taking plenty of time coming up in the decision.
Come on here.
I'd be going for more. No, pointed to the post.
So Orford has made the decision. Will kick for goal.
That's more the Manly style, though. That's what I would have anticipated them doing tonight. Grinding away early and coming over the top late. I think they've come into this game feeling very fit and healthy and fresh after the week off. The danger period is early in the game, not late for them. They'll feel as though they can finish over the top of the Cowboys with discipline and control at the back end, and they just want to get to the front, take any lead they can get and protect the points.
And Ben Vayu there just explained to his teammates why the penalty was given. A bit of a knock early, although he's outstanding last week, pretty much the best forward on the field, against the Warriors. Not easy to come up 5 days later and do the same thing as Orford opens the scoring.
2 points to 0 in favour of Manley. Back in a moment. And back at the Sydney Football Stadium, live with Manley taking first points, a penalty goal to Matt Orford as Brent Kite comes back to the 20-metre line with a strong surge. He's a real inspiration, as is this man. Up in the engine room, Jason King, Monaghan, little misunderstanding there, and he looked to give it, but eventually had to basically succumb to a tackle from Matthew Scott. Glenn Stewart is with the ball, and Payne is around his legs. Thurston is over the top. They're 10 metres from halfway. As Brett Stewart goes into dummy half and gets the ball back to Jamie Lyon, he puts it down to Luke Williamson. Williamson over to Orford. Orford is able to shrug under a tackle there. Gets it away to Anthony Watmoe. Watmoe's inside the 30-metre line. He's got pace to burn. He's tackled 15 metres away from the line. Held down by Justin Smith. Now it's with Orford. He cuts back towards the short side. Puts a raking kick in. And it's cleaned up by Scott.
Oh, that's brilliant play. That is really brilliant play. The Cowboys are stretched. Geez, they've dodged some bullets. Matty Bowen with the tackle on Orford, the no try, the 40-20 miss, and now Orford in the middle of the field showing strength and skill. Watmoe with speed. And it was a brilliant fifth tackle play by Orford. He steps back inside to come back to the short side, realises there's too much defence, and puts a great kick into the in goal to force the line dropout. Superb football from the halfback.
And real concern out there for Michael Monaghan, who's actually stepped over the sideline. When he kicked that 40-20, you saw him reach for his head. Well, he hasn't recovered as Kite takes it to the 30. Monaghan is off. Menzies about to come on.
Williamson sweeping it away to the right-hand side for a run from King. And there's Monaghan being assisted up the tunnel. Gee, to lose him. Here's Jamie Lyon's pass to Bell, looking as though it might have travelled forward. It's allowed to go. They're 12 away from the line. Barney passes to King. Monaghan would be an enormous loss to Manley. Lyon to Glenn Stewart, who's tackled over there on the far side by Farah. 5 tackles gone for Manley. Orford, right foot. Now, Watmoe was in front of the kicker. Doesn't make any difference now. Who did that come off? Manley? Yes, it did. I just thought it might have been a Cowboys hand that was hanging out there, but it was a Manley hand, obviously.
Yeah, they handled it well. He'd be disappointed with that kick, Matt Orford. They had a lot of pressure building. And you see Ty Williams, he pulls away at the end.
Matty Johns, what's the story on Michael Monaghan?
Yeah, well, Robes, he was physically sick. He's suffering from concussion. I was told he was actually staggering up the tunnel. That's a big loss. Look, we expect him to be back, but it's a big loss because Manly are tearing the middle out of North Queensland, and he's the focal point of everything.
Ashley Graham is to play the ball 40 metres out from his own line. Now it's gone away to Big Ray Cashmere, wearing jumper number 17. Western Suburbs formerly. Magpies Junior, then with West Tigers. Here's Matthew Scott, who did well to be in position back there, whether by manufacture or by good fortune, to clean up that attack from Manley. The kick by Thurston will find the dead ball line, and young Barney in his third first-grade game will bring it back.
That's a huge loss if Monaghan doesn't return. And the Cowboys, for everything they've endured, would be loving the scoreboard at the moment. To be only down by 2, given the amount of line breaks and pressure they've absorbed. Crikey.
Well, with Michael Monaghan off, I would imagine Luke Williamson will probably slot into the dummy half position as often as possible. He's going in there now. Jason King lines up to bring it out.
Yeah, but there goes the dummy half running that Monaghan was doing. I don't think Williamson will be as sharp out of there.
So Williamson going to Orford and then to Kite. And of course the other thing is that it's fairly obvious to the opposition that Orford is going to take over the kicking responsibilities, which he shares for the most part with Monaghan. Here's Orford making a break as I speak, looking for Beaver. Taken by Thurston. Now Lyon puts in a little kick. Barney's after it, but it's gone over the touchline in goal. So again, back to the 20 for the restart. They're throwing everything at them bar the kitchen.
Well, they're carving them up. They're making breaks virtually in every set of 6, but they can't finish it off. And still the Cowboys hang on to be only down by 2. Thurston and Bowen have got back in cover defence brilliantly a couple of times. And Jamie Lyon comes up with a poor option on the last play. Manley won't want to get frustrated at this. You can do in a big game. You can think, gee whiz, we should have scored 2 or 3 tries. we haven't, and we have to do something special, something different.
I tell you what, I'm just looking through the binoculars at some of the Cowboys forwards. They're really sucking them in. They are absolutely exhausted. This is Bartlett. What's the percentage of possession? 58 to 42. You don't have to be told that's in favour of Manley, obviously. Ball being played by the 16, who's out there now. Lillyman. Here's Aaron Payne looking for a penalty, getting it. Found Williamson in no man's land. He wasn't at marker. He wasn't direct. He wasn't in the 10-metre line.
Yeah, and perfectly timed for the Cowboys. Nicely done by Aaron Payne. Step up, Mr. Thurston and Mr. Bowen. What have you got? I'll be surprised if they kick for goal. No, Thurston says, give me a look at the try line down here. We haven't had too much at this end of the field. If Thurston and Bowen manufacture a try here, Manley will shake their heads and say, how the hell are we behind?
So this is Sam Faust. 15 away from the Manley line. They haven't been down here more than twice in the game. Lofted ball, slow pass across to Smith and now to Bowman, who steps away from one and is held by Menzies within 7 metres of the line. As Payne comes away, goes back deep. Thurston's found a gap. He's over. Thurston scores. First try of the night. Well, they opened up like the adjacent heads are to Manley.
Well, we are going back, or we're going upstairs to have a look if there was a Manley defender impeded on the inside. Matt Orford came up on the outside, expecting the men on his inside shoulder to cope with Thurston fairly comfortably. Let's see if there's any checkered passage for a defender. Cashmere goes through into the line, knocks the player down.
Yep. No try.
No try. That opens up the hole for the try scorer.
Watmo was never ever looking at that player, and the player took him out. That player was never in a position to get the ball, and Thurston took advantage of the gap that was presented.
And the responsibility there in the decoy runner going through is not to make contact with the defensive player. And Ray Cashmere, he was unable to do that.
He's dangerous though, isn't he, the 7?
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, you could just smell it. He wanted to come down and get a look at the Manley try line.
So it's tit for tat. Peter pays Paul.
How dangerous is he? And I'll tell you what, they were coming back at Steve Maddai again. I'll guarantee you the Cowboys will score a try down Steve Maddai's side of the field. That's the only place they want to go. And if that play, if Thurston had have actually passed the ball instead of running it, Steve Maddai was caught really short in defence.
21 minutes of the game gone. And as you are well aware by now, time flies when you're having a good time. And we're having just that at the Sydney Football Stadium, which is a wonderful place to watch football. And it's quite large enough to accommodate the crowd that was expected from Manley versus Cowboys. So the atmosphere is good. And Kite has lost the ball. Well, it was almost as though he was hatching the ball. Watmo went in to bring it away, and that sort of gave it up to Paul Simpkins. So Brent Kite has been ruled to lose the ball on getting up. Oh yeah, there it goes. Did it get any help? Did it get some help?
It's academic now. The spirits have certainly been lifted by the Cowboys. Got out of their own end, didn't concede a try, got across the opposition line. That'll give them confidence despite the fact it wasn't worth points. And now they get a simple turnover from Kite in an attacking position.
And looking at Michael Monaghan's rump walking up the tunnel, Peter, also would be inspirational, I would imagine, because as Matthew John said, he's everything. He's the nuts and the bolts, the glue.
I'm glad you explained that.
Now it's with Payne to the 40-metre line. Back second man, Thurston away. Bartlett with it. And Bartlett is hit by Matai, who's probably not his energetic self. He's normally involved in something that's quite colourful by now. Steve Matai, I saw him come away from that tackle clutching his shoulder. He's already got a leg problem. That's Cashmere, the ball high across to him, loose on the ground, dived on by Payne, and 5 tackles ordered. Play on, says referee Paul Simpkins. Inside the 20-metre line, Thurston is going to kick. Is he going to kick? Now he does. He's looking out wide for Graham. A bit of pressure on the winger Robertson, but it's gone dead.
Well, he handled that beautifully, the number 2 for Manley. Jonathan Thurston has a great ability to get the football in flat on the full. This is not an easy kick. to get it in between a high kick and a grubber kick and landed in open space. He did it well, it skidded a touch, and Robertson shielded it beautifully.
Now, Mark Bryant is into the game for Manley Warringah or Sea Eagles. And here's Beaver Menzies with 167 tries to his name, the second highest all time, behind only the late and great Ken Irvine. Stephen Bell to the halfway. His former team on show tomorrow at Telstra Dome against Parramatta in the second grand final qualifier, and that will come to you live from 3:30 tomorrow afternoon in Melbourne. Orford across, Watmo catch pass, Cuthbertson in, over the top of Stewart, and Brett Stewart shrugs away from one, gets it to 15 metres out from the line. Wrestled down, and truly wrestled down by Justin Smith. Cuthbertson 21, maroon headgear. Then Orford, it'll be caught in goal, batted in goal. So that was good pressure from Stephen Bell, I fancy.
He wanted to catch it on the full mark, Henry, but the ball wouldn't get to him quick enough, and he could hear the boot steps coming. Nice first touch here from Adam Cuthbertson. Just re-signed for 3 years with the Eagles. He's a player of the future, one of your favourites, Rabs, and Henry does well here. Calls mine. Was going to catch it, no. Discretion, the better part of valour.
It's quite ironic, you know, every time Manly make a bust, as they did again there, it seems to be on tackle 5. They don't have much left at the end of the set of 6. They might look to chance their hand a little bit earlier. Give themselves something to play with at the back end.
Here's Cuthbertson with a strong run inside the 30-metre line. And now it's with Bryant, who hails from Les Boyd territory, I fancy.
Monahan's come back to the sideline, looks ginger.
Williamson, and then it's with Orford, and here's Stewart, the magic of the fullback. Brett Stewart gets it over the line for Manley.
We're going to have a question mark here. This exact try was disallowed about 6 weeks ago over in New Zealand against the Warriors, and there was a giant furore about it. It's a beautifully executed play. Instead of the deep second man, they'll go to a shorter second man. The deep second man is Maddai. They hold it up, and they'll bring Brett Stewart in behind. Now, this try was disallowed against the Warriors earlier this year, and there was a hue and cry about it. And I agree with it. This is sleight of hand that is brilliant. If they disallow this, it's totally unfair. He was fooled by the decoy runner and the man going around the back, and the wonderful sleight of hand of Matt Orford. Justin Smith would never have made the play.
Well, that's a decision to be made upstairs as to whether it's a bad read or whether Justin Smith didn't have a choice. I think he has. He's looked at the man and gone straight towards him. He could have veered to the right to where the pass was actually thrown, and it is no try penalty.
Well, they're going to back up the decision they made 6 weeks ago, because they got bagged extensively for it, and I believe that decision is wrong. I believe it's a great play. I believe the defence is fooled, as it was in New Zealand. It's a play that Manly have manufactured for Brett Stewart to use his speed, and it's a wrong decision.
There's Michael Monahan blinking the eyes, and he's certainly struggling for proper vision.
And you can't take a chance with a concussion.
Cowboys and Manly. Well, hasn't it had some moments? 3 tries disallowed, all for the same reason, obstruction.
Well, they've dodged 4 bullets. How many bullets have Manly got left in the gun? How many bullets does a gun hold?
Lillyman.
Forward pass.
And a forward pass.
They only come in 6 shooters, don't they, Rabs? They've fired 4 bullets.
I think Gus, I think they've improved since the 6th shooter. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, Rabbit's just on Michael Monahan. Look, as you said, they got him on the sideline trying to encourage him to get out there, but as you can see, look, the bloke's not well. He's real groggy, and he's reluctant to go out.
So Michael Monahan is doing his own barrier of trial, so to speak, but all of the body language says that he doesn't need to be out there. Here's Cuthbertson beating one, and I saw the head of Bartlett go jolting back in the collision. Played by Cuthbertson, who adjusts the headgear.
Looks not happy.
And Bryant is with the ball. Yeah, big wombat, he was blowing up there. Now it's gone away to Orford. Now across, a low pass to Glenn Stewart, who's doing well with his injury problems. Maybe not figuring as highly as normally he does, but he's getting through it. Menzies away. Cuthbertson is with it again. And Justin Smith, the 5'8", is with him. 30-metre line for Menzies' dummy half. Orford short. Watmo down. Matai can't catch. Robertson puts a kick on it. Into the end goal. What's Simpkins going to say? Oh, he's ordered line drop out.
Well, I got the impression he was going to put the whistle to his mouth and call a forward pass or knock on here at some stage. Then he allowed play to go on. This might be a tough call on the Cowboys. Jonathan Thurston thinks so.
Okay, where we go?
We're definitely claiming knock on. It is touched by Matt Bowen there, but they want to go back earlier to the pass that was thrown from Matai.
Well, I think the pass from, was it Watmo to Matai?
Yes.
That bounced off Matai. I think Bowen just did that because he knew they were going to get the ball upfield. He got the shock of his life.
Exactly.
So the line drop out is the restart. And another moment of sensationalism in this game. With Cuthbertson now. Tackle just inside the 30-metre line. He will play it to Williamson in 13. Then Bryant in 16. To Menzies in 17. Then away to Lyon. On it goes. Stewart, quick hands. They're heading for the corner. Bell gets the ball away. Barney comes in field. And Barney is tackled by Henry. So they come back 8 metres from the line. Stewart sweeps it away. Lyon gave it on. Orford with the ball. Orford! And he's beautifully pulled out by Bartlett. Play back to Menzies. Menzies looked at them. Does a dance. Invites them in. Tries to go over. Menzies is held. They are just so close to the line now. Williamson, Orford on the left. Orford goes second man. Stewart, Schwers, catch and pass. Robertson, and he is held 3 or 4 metres away diagonally from the corner post. 5 tackles gone for Manley. Brett Stewart, he dummies and does himself. Brett Stewart, take that one off him.
Brilliant.
Take that one off them.
They won't be taking that one off Brett Stewart. The flags fly high. It's been a long time coming. Stewart, the try scorer, through the dummy. Everybody thought the pass was being thrown to the right, including the defence, the all-important defence. One market. Watch Justin Smith. He's already on his way. Ah, thank you.
As our Australian audience rejoins us through the 9 network, Brett Stewart scores his 70th career try.
And we shouldn't be surprised. Not just the fact he's a try scorer, but that's now 17 games in a row that Manly have scored the first try in the game. And quite a battle between the number ones tonight. We've got a test match October 14. Bowen, Stewart, heavily in contention. Good performance tonight and an appearance in a grand final would certainly help that cause of a green and gold jersey.
Orford from 20 metres out. 3 metres in from the western touch line. He may have pushed it away. He has to the right.
Well, Rabbits, I reckon there's about 32,000 people here, and Brett Stewart just sold a dummy that beat all 32,000 of them. Watch this. Watch everyone thinking tackle 5, kick. How are they going to go? Everyone in the ground was shocked by the dummy, but they shouldn't be, because I reckon he scored half a dozen tries out of dummy half that I've seen in the last couple of seasons. Scored one on debut for New South Wales this year from dummy half. He's a sneak.
Just under 9 minutes of the first half to go.
The dummy fooled you, didn't it?
Of course it fooled me. Doesn't take that much to fool me, I'll give you the tip.
I was fooled.
Here's Menzies playing it back to Williamson. Watmo comes down short side and ran into Justin Smith. Got rid of him quite easily. Not very politely, but got rid of him. Then he tries to do the same thing on Fayumu, who's out there in 14. Then Williamson to Orford. Orford keeping it low, driving it back down into the corner. Bowen with some work to do, a bit of territory to cover. Now he's with the ball, 10 away. Ty Williams goes over to his left and says, I'm here. But he brings it straight down the corridor on the right of the ground. Graham is the dummy half. He gives a good pass out to Ty Williams, but Menzies comes up very quickly. And Menzies makes a lovely tackle on Ty Williams. Fayumu.
That's a brilliant defensive play by Menzies. Read him like a racehorse.
Aaron Payne finding Cashmere. Oh, Steve Matai, I told you you'd get involved sooner or later. There's our boy Steve. That might, well, it might be a brute big hit. It might be, I said, but Brute, thank you for your support right through this year. It's been wonderful. Just like Carlton Draft and the other good sponsors, Holden halftime, all of that. Here's the kick by Thurston going down, bouncing inside 10. And it's back with Barney. Barney 25 metres out from his own line. Put down by Cashmere.
You've just got all the sponsors in one sentence. You're a genius.
It's called commercial television. Why don't you realise it?
I know what it's called.
Here's Robertson. Well, if you think it's cash for comment, you're wrong. 32 metres out from their own line. Manley with the ball. Orford out to Bell. Bell stands on. Knocked down by Lyon. Knock on Manley. Chance here, Cowboys. 7 to go to half-time. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, just want to talk about the rhythm of the game. I think it's, honestly, it's hanging by a thread. When you look at Manly, they've been super dominant, had all the field position, all the ball, yet they're only 6 points clear. Now, the Cowboys are a team, unlike others, that don't get their rhythm through the arm wrestle. They get it through field position, flair and ball movement, and here they go.
So, what a half of football. 3 tries, examined by Bill Harrigan and Phil Cooley.
Well, his troops are running on empty here, Jonathan Thurston. I'm quite sure he can manufacture points. We saw that in his last visit. But are his troops running on empty? Still, he can create anything out of nothing.
Here's Justin Smith with the ball now. Farah, I don't know what he was doing, jogging across the back of the ruck. Penalty goes to the Cowboys. They're only 28 metres out. Last time they came down here, they had a try disallowed. Thurston running it over towards Bartlett. Bartlett did well, good pass. Farah's 12 metres out from the line in front of the Eastern Grandstand. Plays it for Henry. Henry for Thurston. Thurston for Cashmere. They're not necessarily looking as snappy as you would want them to look, but they have been using a lot of petrol in defence. Thurston across and looking for Fayumu, finding him. And Fayumu is tackled effectively by Manley, by Menzies. Payne gets to dummy half. Thurston goes back deepish to Bowen. Bowen short to Smith. Smith taken down. 8 metres out from the Manley line. 4th tackle down now for the Cowboys as it comes from Payne and goes to Thurston. Thurston turns it back to Fayumu. Fayumu gets the ball back to the 16. That is Lillyman, and that's 5 tackles gone for the Cowboys. Lillyman playing it for Payne. Payne goes second man, deep and across for Thurston. Quick from Bowen, then from Bartlett. Now it's gone to ground over the touchline off Manley. I think off Manley.
Yep.
Off Michael Barney.
They had to make a big play at that, Rabbits. That was brilliant football from the Cowboys on last tackle. Brilliant football. And Barney, with the hand outstretched, is able to knock it away. Otherwise, Henry scores the first try for the Cowboys. They're not done with now, the North Queenslanders. They're coming again.
He's done really well, Michael Barney, tonight. He's a good mover. We pointed out just his 3rd game in the top grade. Well, he's moved well, and he's also defended beautifully there. Saved his side, Justin Smith. 5 tackles up their sleeve inside the final 5 minutes.
Aaron Payne goes back behind a big forward. Thurston comes in with Bowen coming in on the outside of him, and Bowen is snuffed out. 7 metres from the Manley try line. Fayumu gets a pass away to Thurston, who drops it down in front of Cashmere. Cashmere standing there, and Cuthbertson is there with him, but he got it away. He took a couple of defenders with him. Thurston reels and pivots, does the 360, and then is put on the merry-go-round and thrown down by Anthony Watmoe. Fayumu, big dummy right, runs left, goes out now to Cashmere. Cashmere taken by Orford, and he loses the ball.
Oh, big tackle to 7. Stephen Bell getting some congratulations as well. Cashmere. Looked like he only had to fall over, and Orford gets the hand around the football. Out it comes.
They're good, the players these days, aren't they? As soon as anyone charges towards the line, they're groping and probing and prodding at the ball and getting their hands under it, their bodies, and players into the tackle. It's really hard to score a try.
3.5 minutes from the break there.
Good game, Rabbits.
It is a good game. It is a good game. It's been a sensational game in that we've had all of those tries examined by Bill Harrigan and Phil Cooley and refused. They refused to give the tries. So we've come out of it with, I think, 5 attempts and only 1 success. Bryant on the 30-metre line, taken down by Lillyman. Watmoe putting on a sprint, and Payne, who's worked very hard, Aaron Payne, he makes the tackle. Play back to Williamson, given to Walford, onto Cuthbertson short, and he's up to the halfway line. Cuthbertson, Adam Cuthbertson, and Orford just putting it off the outside edge of the boot. It's been batted back in field by Manley. It's come down to Cowboys. And he's ordered a scrum and a feed, loose head Cowboys.
He's already standing out.
Nice improvisation again from Matt Orford. It was a late decision to come down the short side. Deliberately threw for the wing up Michael Robertson, and he's touched the football there while his foot is on the line. And the touch judge said that that is out.
And the touch judge is right. To the 30-metre line then for the Cowboys. What have they got? 2.25 minutes to find that try line for the first time legally. Here is Fayumu. I was making the point earlier, they've done a lot of this season without some of their star forwards. O'Donnell particularly, and Southern. Falmawina is out suspended. Tronk, the big front rower. They've done a very good job to finish at number 3 and to get here. Here is Payne looking again for a player to be not direct, and he failed that time. 5 tackles gone. Thurston crosses 30. Thurston kicks on the 20. Puts it in behind Robertson, but he's as safe as a bank. Normally, now he's grasped in goal.
That's an inopportune slip there from Robertson. There's still time left on the clock here for the Cowboys. He was very confident he was going to get back into the field to play, and his right foot, well, it just failed him. He really thought he was going to get back into the field to play. Watch him pick it up, brace himself, and then slip. And Bowman was there to make the tackle. The slip. Oh, Whitey, a slip.
Well, the referee's blown time out.
Oh, this is so like the Cowboys. How long have we got, Rabbit? 72 seconds. Plenty of time to post a try.
Wilford's drop kick just over the 40-metre line. Thurston goes back and says to Cashmere, you take it ahead. And Cashmere is picked up and put away heavily by Cuthbert's it over the top of Watmo's original tackle. Thurston goes right and picks up Justin Smith, and Justin was tackled 23 metres out from the Manley line. Manley leading 6 points to nothing as we come up towards half-time in 3/4 of a minute. Thurston dummied away again. They goes to Bowen, I should say. And now it's with the Cowboys 7 metres out from the line, being played by Farah. Played back to Henry. Henry then on to Bartlett. Bartlett taken by Menzies and put down with Stewart's assistance. So from the dummy half, it's come across through 2 sets of hands. Thurston front. Justin Smith! Justin Smith gets the ball away, and the 16 gets it over Lillyman. Jacob Lillyman has scored. There is no inquiry. It is a try for Jacob Lillyman of the Cowboys.
And take a bow, Justin Smith. Lillyman, another State of Origin representative for Queensland. Did well to support to be there. Had confidence that Justin Smith could pop the pass, and he did so. This is a great ball. Close to the line, he's going to the ground, he slips it up 2 hands. Orford can't stop Lillyman, neither can Matt-Eye. And what a blow to land on the stroke of half-time. The inside pass again. They've been forced to do that a fair bit. This time it's worked in their advantage.
Ah, Rabbits, you could smell it, couldn't you? The Cowboys hanging in there, refusing to go away. Then all of a sudden, a slip from the winger Robertson gives them one more set of 6. And in they come and manufacture the leveller. And that will send them to the half-time break with some air in the lungs and some wind in the sails, and Manley will be thinking, what the hell happened there?
Orford, you would have seen a picture, a close-up of him in that slow-mo, dressing down a couple of defenders that fell a bit lazy.
Adam Cuthbertson, I think he was particularly upset with that he didn't stop the football in the tackle on Smith. 3 in and he's still offloaded as Thurston about to make it 12 in a row in the finals.
There it is from Thurston. It's level. It is 6-all at half-time. What an amazing first half of football in the grand final qualifier. 6-all. 3 tries disallowed. Stay with us, plenty more to come after the break. Andrew, Matthew and Ben will bring you Holden half-time, featuring our Bundy big plays along with all the action from the first half. All this coming to you live on the home of the NRL Finals football. Which one? Channel 9. That's the one.
An absolute cracker here at Sydney Football Stadium. A 6-all scoreline. Manley and the Cowboys, the stats fairly even from that first half. A little bit more defensive effort there for the Cowboys and a lot more missed tackles, 20-9. But Ben Eichen and Matthew Johns that first half. This is great. This is tension of a grand final qualifier. Outstanding stuff.
What a game, Vossi. Absolutely fantastic. You know, and it is it's a sudden death game and they're playing it as such. Look, for 30 minutes, Manly is super dominant, highlighted by Michael Monaghan the first 15 minutes. But after 30 minutes, you look up at the scoreboard, 6-0, and they give them one opportunity. The Cowboys get one opportunity, and it's 6-all. I tell you, this is on a knife edge.
That plays with your mind. You know, I like what the Seagulls have done here tonight. What they've done, they've turned the tables on the Cowboys. They've played heavy traffic through the middle, and it saps some of the juice out of the Cowboys.
Well, our Bundy big plays tonight featured by 3 no tries in the first half. Everyone's on edge. So too the video referee, Bill Harrigan, with Phil Cooley up in the box tonight. But there's been a lot of drama.
There has been a lot of drama. A lot of decisions made up in the box. First one was a no try to Robertson, of course. Matt-I was the player going through there and obstructing, and this guy, Michael Monaghan, Matty Johns rapped him how important he is to the Manly team. Kicks a 40-20, and not long after, he'll go off with concussion. And unfortunately for the Seagulls, he hasn't been back on the field yet. A very integral part of what they do. They'll be hoping to get him back out there in the second half, but at the moment, things not looking good.
The Jonathan Thurston no try. First of all, the one for Manly. Obstruction here. Brett Stewart goes over. We'll examine this one a little closer in a moment. I think the boys up in the box happy enough to live with it in the fact that they're consistent on other rulings so far this year. This was an interesting one, though. I was prepared to say that ball's travelled forward from Manly.
Well, that was an issue. Where did it come off the player's chest? Did this pass go forward? Look, a couple of decisions had to be made, and in the end, they favoured the Seagulls. The ball will be kicked here by Robertson. Will go into the end goal. Matt Bowen will follow through. He's thinking that a knock-on's been made. He follows the ball all the way, ends up tapping it over the dead ball line. Then Brett Stewart, after a couple of tackles, gets himself in a dummy half, throws the big dummy whooshka. The whole crowd falls for it, as Gus says. He crosses over for a try. Great play from the Manly #1.
And then the Cowboys try right on half-time. Jacob Lillyman, only the second try of his first-grade career. This is his 51st game tonight. The boy from Richmond, what a nice night to get it.
It was a fantastic play by the Cowboys. As Matty John said, they just held themselves in the game, in the contest for that first half. And to score on the 40th minute, I don't think the Seagulls coach or the players be all that happy in the sheds at the moment.
I don't think they would be. I don't think, because look, I'm looking at Manly, I look at their big men, and the threat of Bowen and Thurston and what they create, and what they can create out of nothing, is forcing the big men to really work. And even when Manly were going good, big guys like Kite and King, they look tired. It's a concern.
Well, let's go back and have a closer look at this Brett Stewart no try. Now, a lot of you watching at home, you don't watch football on a regular basis. We can't explain the obstruction rule lock, stock and barrel tonight. But, Ben, were you happy to live with this decision?
I am. Look, it's a play they love to use it, but it's a play they've been penalised for twice already this year. One more recently against the Warriors. What they do is they run a second man play, but the runner in the back, the second man runner, he's a decoy. And then Stewart loops around from behind, and what happens is there becomes an issue with the lead runner. The lead runner ends up taking out Justin Smith, and the referees like to do, they stay consistent, they back each other. As it's been awarded a penalty the previous 2 times it's been played, they've done it again here tonight.
I must say, I go the other way. I actually thought that Smith gravitated in an outside-in fashion. I think he gravitated towards the ball. I would have given it a try.
He was denied an opportunity to make the tackle.
Justin Smith's a good country boy. If you asked him, hand across his heart, I reckon he'd say he was committed to Anthony Watmough, but he wouldn't make that admission tonight. Let's have a look at the player cam from the first half. We have to focus on the fullbacks. Brett Stewart, Matty Bowen, probably playing for an Aussie jumper tonight.
Well, that's exactly right. This guy from the get-go was brilliant positionally. I mean, the kicking game of Matt Bowen and Jonathan Thurston is second to none. They'll find open space, but when they did, this guy was always there to clean up. He's also a great opportunist. He puts himself in positions to get points. Now, who would have thought, 5th tackle here, throws the big dummy, crashes over. He's a try-scoring freak. I think he deserves as much as anybody a chance to have a crack at that green goal.
Look, Stewart does his best work off creators. This guy is a creator. He's a halfback. There's no doubt. He plays at fullback. He's deadly on kick returns, but he's a halfback without a doubt. They're playing with 2 halfbacks out there, Thurston and Matty Bowen. And look, I'm with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, boys, there's no match under the McIntyre system has gone to extra time. I'm smelling extra time here at Sydney Football Stadium tonight. Field goals could be a big play in the second half. A reminder too tonight about the Carlton Draft Plastic Cup promotion. Your chance to win as much as $100,000 on WS Cox Plate Day. You could be running at the grand final day in the Carlton Draft Plastic Cup competition. Live pictures coming through from the Manly dressing room, encouraging Michael Monaghan up on his feet. We will take a short break. Live finals footy on Channel 9. After the break, second half.
Live from the Sydney Football Stadium, first night of the grand final qualifiers, and we're no closer to knowing which of these clubs will be there at Telstra next weekend. 6 points all. Monaghan, Michael, was concussed early. That's Ben Kennedy, the former champion from Newcastle and Manley. I don't know what he'd be saying to him, but it looks like Monaghan might be going to take some more part in the game. Thurston leading the Cowboys out, I would think, on a wave of confidence.
With a spring in the step, Ray, after the way they finished the first half. Very interesting with Michael Monaghan. I'm keen to know whether it will be left up to him to make the decision or whether it's one made by the medical people.
Only the player can make it, Peter, and it's a terrible injury because you can't understand it. When it's actually happened to you, there's a part of you that thinks you're right, and there's another part of you that's so confused because you just don't understand why you're so fuzzy and why things don't coordinate the way they should.
But if I'm the club doctor, Gus, and I look at him and I know he's not right, maybe I do pull rank.
Well, they're supposed to actually pass a written test and an oral test, and they've got to do it a couple of times. It's a concussion test. I mean, I haven't been in mainstream coaching for a while, but that's how it used to be, and I can only assume they've given him those tests. But look, he's still shaking his head, and that's what concussion is. Concussion, physically you feel great, but it's just this blurriness in your brain, and you can't focus on anything. And you keep thinking with the next blink of the eyes you will, but you don't. And then you start to get worried. Look at him. He's still blinking, and he's still saying, why can't I see properly?
Yeah, but hang on a moment. If you're saying that the only person that can make the decision is the player himself, how can he make a decision when he's concussed as heavily as this boy obviously is?
Exactly, and what he's got is a lot of teammates. And Ben Kennedy was talking to say, come on, mate, you'll be right. Look, he's still shaking his head. I'm right, I'm right. No, I'm not right. I'm still shaking my head. I can't see straight.
Well, Orford restarts. It is 6 points all. One try, one goal, both sides. Both sides have been denied tries by the video referees as Kashmir takes the first play of the second half. And here's the try scorer right on half-time, Jacob Lillyman, who will play the ball just inside his own 20-metre line. They go away to Fayumu. He's got that lovely swerve and dodges with his hips. He's a wonderful ball carrier.
And he's being used as a ball runner tonight, Ray, with Aaron Payne on the field at the same time. Generally, they swap over, not tonight, and he's caused some problems, Fayumu. Here he goes again with that step. Last tackle.
So they're 8 metres from halfway now as they go away for Thurston's boot. And Thurston drives it down, bouncing along towards the 15-metre point. And this is Barney with the ball, who's had a lovely debut, really. Mind you, the Cowboys have been wanting to go down Steve Mattai's side of the ground. That's taken them down towards Michael Robertson's wing. And here is Mattai talking about him, getting the knees high and bringing it down towards halfway. Aaron Payne across to make the clean-up tackle, and he's done plenty of that tonight. And Mattai's again clutching at that shoulder that I talked to you about earlier. Here's Monaghan, up towards 30, draws the defence, finds Stewart, the full-back. And Brett, who got the Manley try from dummy half. He will play it on the 20-metre line back to Monaghan. Then to Orford. Orford goes behind Brent Kite, goes across the face of another. Jamie Lyon down to Steve Menzies. And Menzies is tackled on 5. Stephen Bell is with the ball. Now it's with Orford. He puts a kick in. It's bouncing and there's swing and Stacks on the mill. It's all over the place. Line dropout.
Well, that was a freakish kick and an even more freakish bounce. The Cowboys have dodged another bullet. How do they keep doing it? They're like Superman. Mattai through the hole. He's a tough fella, this boy. Saw him play a full game with a neck injury earlier this year. Remember that, Rabbits? Every time he made a tackle, he was wincing. And a great kick there from Orford under pressure. Not put dead until Williams was able to get a fist to it.
Reference of mine to Barney and Babu. I'm talking about in finals football, obviously. He's played a couple of games through the year.
Yeah, that's a good result from the line dropout. Kite did well to bring it back to the 40 after Matt Bowen found open space.
Now Michael Monaghan going away to Jason King, and King is tackled on the 30-metre line by Fayumu and Aaron Payne. As Peter pointed out, both dummy halves are out there and they're both very industrious. Here's Menzies on the 20-metre line, 20 metres in from the eastern touchline. Monaghan, well, he might be Blinky Bill or whatever you might call him, but he's made 10 metres up to the 10-metre line now. Then it's Orford losing the ball, and it's a penalty to Manley.
Well, this is where we were in the first half. Last time they took the 2 points. Watmo wants to play on, and Orford said, hang on. Watmo got his way. There he goes. He'll score. He'll score. Oh, brilliant.
Watmo has gone straight through.
Well, the 2 tries that Manley have scored tonight, the opposition have gone to sleep. Justin Smith was the marker in the first try to Brett Stewart. Jonathan Thurston, he can't believe it. Cannot believe it. But there were 3 or 4 Cowboys players who again just assumed that they were going to take the kick. That was the penalty. Marcus not in space. He was given the mark.
He didn't tap it with anything.
Come back. Orford taking the conversion of the Watmo try, and it's there. Manley lead by 6. Matt Johns.
Yeah, when you talk about Ben Kennedy, the impact he had here at Manley, and the residue that remains, you talk about Anthony Watmo. I tell you, wherever Kennedy went, Watmo was his shadow. Really turned Watmo's career around. His speed and footwork's caused problems all after the Cowboys.
Dreadful defence.
Rabbits, I just want to look at how he tapped that ball again. Anthony Watmo. We'll have a look at it in a minute. To me, it didn't look like the ball touched the ground. His foot, there's Ben Kennedy chomping on the chewing gum.
Who's not playing tonight?
He's not playing tonight, no. He'll be at the fruit stall in the morning.
So on the 30-metre line, Michael Monaghan playing the ball. A brave performance by him. Here is the.
What's he do? He does. Oh, he bounced it on his foot.
That's as good as you get in this day and age.
He bounced it on his foot.
So here is Monaghan weaving his way down the ground. Andrew G would be interested to see that. Here's Meyer. Orford! Oh, it's been snapped up by Fayumo. He got the ball away. It's gone out to Farah. And Farah is tackled. 5 metres into Manley's territory now. They regather themselves and get into defensive formation as it goes from Thurston over to Lillyman. And Lillyman runs over the top of Monaghan, comes to Stewart, and is put down by the Stewart brothers. 25 out. 25 out from the Manley line. Thurston has an inside decoy runner, goes to Bowman, and Bowman is tackled. 15 out from the line on the wide shot. You can see where they are. Thurston then runs away from the first marker, gets the ball away to Scott, and Scott straining and driving those legs and trying to get himself up to that try line, which is only a matter of centimetres away. Fayumu gets it away, and Bowman is with it. The big fellow in the centres will play the ball. Number 4, Paul Bowman. Now Fayumu, and it's gone away, and he slams it down. No! Referee says turnover. Justin Smith it was.
So close. And the Cowboys should never have got that opportunity. Matt Orford made a big mistake on tackle 5, and I want to show you the difference as to why he's a good halfback and not considered one of the greats. Here's the tackle. It's a great tackle there. He and Monaghan have come up with a try saver. Brett Stewart lends a leg to it. But the 5th tackle option down the short side that was intercepted by the Cowboys was a poor play. He's made up for that with a good tackle on the line.
2 tries and 2 goals. Plays 1 try and 1 goal. Manley by 6 early in the second half. Brett Stewart 7 minutes into the second stanza. Michael Monaghan to the halfway line. Glenn Stewart then to Orford. Orford to the right foot. Drives it down into the corner, and he finds touch at the 10-metre junction.
That's the play he should have had 3 minutes ago. Good boy. That's what your team needs. The team doesn't need the big play, they need the right play. And 2 minutes ago he made a bad mistake and nearly cost his side points. The little grubber kick down the short side wasn't necessary. He should have been banging it into the corner. He turned over possession with a selfish play. The second time he gets it right, he says, righto boys, sorry, I'll get us on the front foot, put it out over the sideline, let's walk down there and tackle these blokes.
Yeah, nice touch of skill there from David Fayumu as well when he plucked it out of the air and got it into the left arm to do the backward flick to Ben Farah on his outside.
Henry. Oh, that tackle. I just thought for a moment it might have been penalised from Jamie Lyon.
It was your man, Matt.
This is Muskrat. Cowboys junior. A couple of years at Parramatta. Cashmere. A struggling run. 25 away from his own line. Then he bears all as Scott goes out to the 35-metre point. Ball spews away. It's with Bowen. cuts out a player, goes to Bowman.
Manly want to be careful here. They're trying to be aggressive in defence. You've got to be smart in defence against the Cowboys. You be aggressive, all of a sudden they'll pop one out the back, chip kick, and pull your pants down. They've got to defend smart, not aggressive.
Well, they just did. They pulled Ray Cashmere's pants down.
I put that in for you.
There he is. Thurston putting a kick down, 15 metres out from the Manley line. Here comes Robertson. Robertson with Thurston on him, and Lillyman, they pick him up and carry him back. They're still carrying. And now he's put to ground under the tackle of Lillyman. Here is Barney with a run straight up the middle of the park, 32 metres out. Stewart had to go into dummy half very quickly. Thurston is beaten in defence. Fayubu is beaten in defence. And Bowman is left with Farah to make the tackle. Good effort by the fullback, Brett Stewart. It wasn't a play meant for him, but he finished up having to do it. Brent Kite plays the ball, and they're up to the 40-metre line. Cowboys end Monaghan. Monaghan taken by the 17, Cashmere, together with Justin Smith. Now for Orford to the 30-metre line, puts a kick in, and the ball is taken by Bowen. And here he comes, Bowen. Menzies is after him. They're all after him. No, he's in the field of play. That's a penalty. They dragged him back.
And I went for too much. It was a wonderful tackle. Who made the tackle? Was it Menzies?
Glenn Stewart, I think.
Glenn Stewart. Glenn Stewart across the field. Now that's a good enough result. Maddai goes in for the ultimate. Bowen keeps the ball in the field of play. And Maddai goes in. Well, Rabbits, your man, Maddai. What do we say?
It's a touch obvious.
What do we say, Rabbits?
He's not my man.
He's your man. You've been rapping him all game.
I haven't been rapping him at all.
We're a team, Rabbits. Work in. Come on.
Here's Cashmere with the ball now. Steve Maddai would have to tell you that what he did was a little bit dumb, really. They've got an easy passage out from their own red zone, as some people call it. So the ball played by Matthew Scott. And then Payne goes away with a couple of dummies before finding Lillyman angling back towards the ruck. 4 or 5 metres into Manly's territory. Out to Bowen. Bowen on to Bowman. Bowman swerves up his left foot. And I thought for a moment was true. He got through Menzies. That's a good trick in itself. Here it comes from Payne to Thurston. Thurston dummies. Steps off his left foot. Goes through. Thurston 10 metres out from the line. 5 tackles gone against the Cowboys.
They're short way out on the right.
Payne, that's the way they're going. Here's the kick from Bowen. And the jump is on. Oh, it's come down to Orford. Orford runs away from Williams and is taken over there by Musgrave.
And he's up and gone again, Orford.
Not held. Comes out to the 20. Runs into a shoulder. Bounces off that. Put down by Scott eventually.
I'm not sure the kick was the right play. They had big numbers out that way. Matty Bowen put the kick in. Nearly scored anyway, but had they put the ball through the hands, I think they get it. Look at Manley, bunched behind the play the ball. You could throw a handkerchief over them.
Glenn Stewart now. Just inside the 30-metre line, a groan from the Manly supporters. Looking for a penalty for a high shot. A couple of plane loads of Cowboys supporters down here for the game tonight. Here is Matter. And played quickly back to Brett Stewart. They're letting them play the ball very quickly, and Stewart is capitalising. 32 metres out now. And some of the Cowboys taking an age to get up. Here's Orford. Runners coming. Wadmo gets it on. Jamie Lyon. Glenn Stewart. Manley for the line. Stephen Bell completes the mission.
Oh, that's a great attacking raid from Manley. Taking advantage of some quick play the balls. Brett Stewart in there on a couple of occasions. They went to the left, came back to the right. And the Manly fans here believe that that is a huge step towards a grand final appearance. Good lead-up play. Matt Orford stepping off the left foot, finds Anthony Watmo. Nice pass there, and then it was just a matter of taking advantage of the overlap, which they did. Steve Bell to the right.
Live back at the football stadium, Stephen Bell, the try scorer, his 83rd, his 7th for the season. Former Storm player, but troubles for Manly. Steve Maddai, it would seem, gone for the night. Assisted from the field by one of the toughest men that ever played the game, Jeff Tooby in the blue shirt. Orford to take it out to 18-6 and 2 converted tries.
It's a big kick, this. In the scope of the game, you want your kicker to kick these ones.
So Menzies will go out to the centres, obviously. Here's Orford from 21 out. It's going across the face, and it hits the crossbar and bounces out. Bounces away. Matthew Johns.
Yeah, a lot of razzle-dazzle from Manley for that try, but look, it's come from an attitude and the discipline of going back, playing director in and around the rucks. And the man responsible is, again, Michael Monaghan. Look, he's had a knock to the head. He's suffering from concussion. He's got to remain out there. He's that important to them.
Afamusaga out there now for the Seagulls, the last of the 34 players to be involved. Red Kite from the restart brings it back. 12 out from his own line, and there goes Manley.
He's done a good job, Brent Cott. He had a groin injury a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, against South? He looked in all sorts of trouble. He's done well to get himself back on the field.
Afamusaga has gone on for Matai, and that change will automatically happen with Menzies going out to a position that he's become very familiar with, although he's a dummy half at the moment. And he passes across the face of a teammate to find Brent Kite. And Kite will play the ball 7 or 8 metres on his own side of the halfway tackle by Matthew Scott and by Jacob Lillyman. Here's Monaghan. Over it comes now for Stephen Bell. And Bell away from Thurston. Bell away from Bowman. Bell up to the centre of the ground. Up to the 40-metre line, eventually put away. Stephen Bell playing it, and Orford kicking. Menzies is going fast on the left. Menzies is after Bowen's take. Bowen makes a mistake. Pressure from Menzies. Knock on ordered.
Well, that should nearly be a penalty. The Cowboy player who picked that up was in front of Bowen, I believe. Great pressure from Menzies. Good kick from Orford. Everything going Manly's way. I think Jamie Lyon's gone out to the centres, and Menzies, who's moved into the 5'8" position.
Yeah,
look at this.
Ty Williams picks it up here.
Well, he might have retreated back behind it, maybe.
You can just feel the game starting to slip away from North Queensland, not just on the scoreboard. That was a difficult take, of course. The ball was swirling away from Matt Bowen, but the pressure from Steve Menzies made his job that much more difficult.
He was never going to take it, Peter. You could just see it, couldn't you? He couldn't get to it.
More points coming.
You think so?
I think so.
Jamie Lyon's gone to the centres. He scored a couple against Parramatta laid out there when he played in that position.
So back of the scrum play. The Cowboys finishing up with the football.
Well, they dropped the ball. It was a nice little play. Stewart took a look at the try line. He was in fresh air and came up with a fumble. It was a set play that came unstuck.
Ball play by Farah. And the run is from Graham. And he's held down by Afamusaga. The 13 with the ball is Henry. And they're just outside their 30-metre line on the 4th tackle. Ty Williams. Well, there's a big job in front of Thurston and Bowen now. At 16-6. And 17 minutes of the second half gone. The sound of the whistle.
It's got to be a touch judge call.
That's a harsh call, isn't it?
Well, we're a pretty good line here, aren't we?
Thurston remonstrating with the linesman that, gee whiz, it looked all right from where we sit. We're right on top of it. He fades across field. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a flat pass.
It's left the hands okay. It might have floated. Thurston still carries on with... Well, you're watching replay pictures, but he was still mouthing off in reality to referee Paul Simpkins.
Well, what you're seeing there is passion, not abuse.
No, I understand that.
And that's what people have got to understand. It's not abuse. It's just passion and disappointment.
He got a tough call. I don't care what they say. He got a really tough call. Here's Jamie Lyon trying to put a fend on Musprat, but Musprat goes through with the tackle. And Manley go down the centre through Watmo, who scored that quite incredible try from the tap 10 metres out. Monaghan, concussed, plays on. Kite, short. Glenn Stewart, ducks. Thurston's there. So too is the number 4, Bowman. Not happy with Glenn Stewart. Gave him a push, gave him a shove. Goes in and takes out his anger on Brett Kite. Together with the tackle of the 19. Veu, who's back on for the Cowboys. To the 30-metre line, Manley with a lead of 10 points. With about a quarter of the game to go. Is it enough? Monaghan for Orford. Orford's kick is for Robertson, who I think is onside.
Well, that's better from Matty Orford. His last 3 kicks have been terrific. Criticised him for the selfish one that nearly cost his team, but those three are exactly what his team needed, playing a much better hand. And I agree with Matty Johns. What about what Michael Monaghan has done in this game? Not in the first 15 minutes when he had all his senses, but in the second half. Tomorrow, the Storm versus the Eels, the Telstra Dome, Melbourne. 3:30 live, pre-match, 4 o'clock kickoff. It'll be an absolute beauty.
Yes, it will. Many people think that is the grand final being played tomorrow, but from what we've seen here tonight from Manley thus far, they are in this competition right up to their throats.
Well, they have been all year, they weren't out of the top three throughout the whole season. It's a pretty fair effort, and here they are. Some good effort in defence as well. Dominant call, third tackle against the opposition.
Scott gingerly getting to his feet as Bowman tries to break through the Manly defence, which so far in the game has only been broken really on the one occasion, barring the try that was disallowed.
Paul Bowman down in back play. Gee, was watching Paul Bowman play the second half of this season, he might be disappointed he didn't move into the forwards a little bit younger. He'd have made a real good fist of it in there. He's got a bit too slow to play in the centres, but such a tough competitor. Came off the bench in Origin and played in the forwards a few times, and I think his last few weeks have been terrific.
I'll just point out that even though he has been at the back of the scrum for many weeks now, it's a sign of respect to Paul Bowman that they allow him to wear the number 4 jersey, which he's worn for the entire career, as Michael Monaghan tries to find some space, offloads to Watmo. Hasn't he been tough to stop tonight? He's still going.
Here's Watmo, reeling out of a tackle, getting it away, and it's out with Atamasaga. Held by Thurston. Now he could have given a penalty there. It's Orford coming back, touched by Thurston, caught by Thurston, penalised is Thurston.
He's played advantage, I think. I think the line must have been offside. Thurston was at marker and thrown on the ground.
Listen, I've made the tackle, I stand at marker, he pushes me out, wants to go there. I get back up. Finish. Yeah. I've called movement, you've crowded him. John, I've called movement, you ought to move away. You ought to move away.
Well, Thurston is claiming that he should have got a penalty when Atamasaga pushed him away when he was the first marker.
Well, they're saying he couldn't be offside because he has done the right thing as far as he's pushed away. Now the decision from this, when Thurston has been ruled offside, looking to extend the lead to 2 converted tries, Matt Orford.
Well, he's ruled that Thurston didn't get up to mark him, therefore he was offside when he took the intercept. Thurston was saying, I couldn't mark him, I was on my back because he pushed me over.
Yeah.
And the referee said, well, he's entitled to do that because you were crowding him.
I don't think that's right.
No, I think the referee's got that wrong.
The man playing the ball cannot be interfering with the marker any more than the marker can with the man playing the ball. Here's Orford for the 2 converted try margin, and this time he's got it there with the aid of the feint. Matty Johns.
Well, I'm sitting down here with Andrew Voss and Benny Eichen. We're talking about many things, but that decision, man, that's a bad one. There's nothing Jonathan Thurston could have done. He was thrown to the ground. That's a real tough call.
Well, they're quick to restart Jonathan Thurston, and I guess a sign of how strong the New South Wales back rowers were this season. Anthony Watmo is actually in better form now than what he was when he wore the sky blue jersey. He set that up with the charge.
Ball being played by Atamasaga inside the 20-metre line. This is Mark Bryant, and Bryant has put down just outside it. Cashmere lending his weight in the tackle with Faust. Then it's Monaghan who's through. He shrugs them away. Monaghan steps. Bowen takes him. Ball heading for the sideline. Robertson. And dived on over there by Ty Williams.
He's been brilliant, Monaghan. This is the difference between what the Bulldogs and the Warriors did or didn't do in the last couple of weeks. Said it in the pre-match. When the Bulldogs and Warriors played the Cowboys, they played dumb. Not enough dummy half running. From the opening kickoff, this man has probed away around the middle of the rucks. He's burst into the backfield 2 or 3 times. He's playing on memory at the moment. He's got concussion. He can't even see straight.
Well, it's remarkable to think that his time at Manley has been so checkered. Replace him next year is an enormous task. I know Matt Ballon's a good young player. They bought Hooper Lestrange, but on the hands in a class of his own.
That's that salary cap, Peter. Don't start me. He's going to England. Don't. Why'd you bring that up, Rabbit?
Steve Maddai. Orford. Kicking down into the corner, but Bowen. Field of play. Beat Menzies. Sees an opening. Slices through. Taken down on the 20-metre line. Away from Henry, through to Thurston, onto Williams. Williams looking for an opening, but Manley closing every gap. Lyon that time, together with Watmo, who's really fired up. Now Musprat. Just as a completion to that comment on Monaghan, I can still remember you putting his name down as the number 7 for State of Origin, and there were plenty of people laughing at you, but goodness gracious, he's had a wonderful season. And I know he's got the 9 on his back, but he would have got the job done. No doubt about it.
I think New South Wales win the series if he plays for them.
There you go. Thurston shows it, goes back, goes out to Bowen, and Bowen puts on the acceleration. He loses the ball.
I don't think he lost the ball. I think he's tried to pass to Henry.
Did Henry drop it? It was a brilliant pass, I think, at first look. He had a few options to take, but sort of pushed his way through the line and tried to get one around the corner. I think Henry put it down. I might be mistaken.
Bryant running at Fayumu, who together with Payne, and Vayu makes the tackle. Here's Williamson, Peter.
Then remarkably, Steve Maddai is going to come back into this game if he's jumping around on the sideline as any indication. Matt Orford now passed it. Watmo wasn't expecting it, didn't want it. Lost it. Musprat gets it.
Still time here. The Cowboys try, opens the game back up again.
So Williams with 15 minutes now to go. Exactly. Cashmere held by Williamson as long as he could. And Payne away to Thurston. Musprat again. And down just outside the 20-metre line. Third tackle now for the Cowboys. Payne goes behind and goes out to Thurston. Thurston away to young Ben Farrell. And Farrell is put down. 11 away. Wide shot shows you how far out they are. It's with Fayumo that's gone to ground. It's been picked up by Barney. But Simpkins has called him back.
Yeah, he knocked on. I think you'll find that this will be a North Queensland ball with Michael Barney knocking on before he got the grasp of the football and was off.
That's unlucky. I wanted to see how quick he was.
North Queensland didn't.
Did he get a hand to that? Or did Henry get a hand to that?
I think they both might have, but I think his hand...
Well, it was certainly worth letting him take off for the try and finding out. Maybe, maybe not. I'll bet if they let it play on, the video referee would have had 15 looks at that before making a decision.
Here they are anyway, North Queensland. And it's come away from Thurston to Bowen. And they've really put some security around him. Brett Stewart and Anthony Watmo. Graham, a dummy half scurry to the middle of the ground. 15 out. Here's a penalty to North Queensland. Right in front of the uprights. No messing about. Straight away to Cashmere. And Cashmere is held 7 metres from the line. Thurston's away to the left. And here is Aaron Payne taking it within 3 metres of the line. Musprat to Thurston. Thurston, dummy, spins, goes back to the right-hand side. Running, and Orford makes the tackle. 7 on 7. Now Justin Smith, he beats Orford. Then he takes it over towards the corner on the northeastern side of the ground. Justin Smith, who plays the ball. Payne, Musprat, on to Thurston, away to Bowen. Bowen steps, comes to Menzies and Williamson. Gets the ball away. Fayumu can't handle it. Williamson's got the ball. He's going to put a scrum down.
I think it's a Williamson knock on as well. Pressure maintained.
They're putting a lot of pressure on with their defence here, Manley. It's been terrific. Bowen loses that. How's that a pass? Bowen loses that, then Williamson knocks on. Bowen didn't have control of the ball. Manley will keep getting up offside here, and they're prepared to give penalties rather than concede points.
We've got a Manly player down on the far side. Matt Orford trying to bring that to the referee's attention. It's Anthony Watmo. And they're all hands on deck here. He comes into 5'8", close to the scrum.
12 down with 12 to play.
Simpkins calling, hang on, so they have to bring it back for another feed. Payne to Farah. Farah shows it to Graham, is pursued and put down by Lyon, and Farah now plays it to Bowen. This is Cashmere with the ball, and he's got it to within 5 metres of the line. They're in the centre of the ground. Thurston is standing very deep. Musprat goes deepish, finds Thurston, and Thurston has lost the ball.
Strict one-on-one, Matt Orford. Brilliant.
Well, Orford's got him twice in the space of a minute. It was a brilliant tackle on the other side of the field, and now a one-on-one strip, and now the Cowboys concede a penalty.
Yeah, David Fayumu ruled to have gone on with the tackle to force the proposed line drop out. And Manley will welcome that. Been under a lot of pressure.
That was great play by Matty Orford. Here's the penalty against Fayumu. Barney driven back into the end goal.
Manley finding the line off the boot of Matty Orford. And it is Bryant who takes it ahead. 11.5 minutes away from a grand final appearance for Manley. If they can hang on to the 12-point lead, the clock now demands that the Cowboys score a point a minute to take us to Golden Point. Monaghan will play the ball and will make a very good story in the aftermath of this clash, no matter what the result. To the right side for Watmo to cut out Menzies and go over to Bell. And Stephen Bell, one of the Manly try scorers, plays it for Stewart, the fullback, and then Monaghan kicks. And Ty Williams is away from one, through a gap, which is closed by Robertson. Bowen, Thurston finding Cashmere, and Cashmere lumbers up 35 metres out from his own line. Then Payne scoops it away for Thurston, and the ball will go over the touchline. So everything is going right for Manly. We break and come back. So you come back to us live here in Australia. Telecast emanating from the National 9 network here, but taken live over in the UK, live in New Zealand, and in Papua New Guinea. Here is Anthony Watmo.
Field goal time, boys. Are they working towards field goal?
Robertson, 25 metres away from the Cowboys line. Working it towards the centre. Orford has had a couple of looks at the uprights. Tooby is out there in the blue shirt, sending out instructions.
Can't get any better position than this.
Afamasaga. Orford is back deep. Bryant, short passing. Cuthbertson, round the corner ball. Watmo, Lyon is over. Jamie Lyon scores. Manley are going to go through. It would seem apparent.
Yeah, that's great ball movement there. And the players know at 22-6 with a kick to come, it's only there for them to lose. Beautiful work here. Look at this ball from Adam Cuthbertson. Burst through a couple, past it, Watmo over the top. Jamie Lyon had a man unmarked on the outside. Was good enough to score himself.
Manly fans absolutely delirious here. Listen to them. The people of the peninsula, they can feel another shot at a grand final. 11 years, or 10 years it is, since they went down to Newcastle in the divided competition. Orford from the sideline, almost, with that shot, and it's coming back. Is it? No, he's again found
He's hit that post twice and the crossbar once. He just needs to get another shot and even it up on this side with the crossbar, with the upright.
This try was Monahan and Watmo again. Matt Orford was in beautiful position for the field goal. I thought they were going to kick the one-pointer. Cowboys thought he was going to kick the one-pointer. But all of a sudden, Monahan and Watmo had different ideas. Get it to Jamie Lyon out in the left centre position. He comes up with a try, short kick-off. Cowboys will get it back, but they'll lose ground. And they'll go into touch by the look of it. No, saved him. Short kick-off and got possession on their own side of halfway.
Jacob Lillyman. Yes, this competition has seen Melbourne comfortable for a long time and beating Manley over the line. Here's Bowen beating Manley over the line by as far as Manley beat the others. So I suppose in many ways it's only fitting that Manley would go through. And in saying that, I suppose it's only fitting that Melbourne would do the same. But Parramatta doesn't think the same, do they? Here's Thurston away to Muspratt. And it's Graham who can't handle. Picked up by Orford. Play on, says the referee. Robertson's with the ball.
And 2 interchange left for Manly as they take it forward through Bryant. No surprise that the injured trooper on the sideline. Jason King down there. He had an operation not long ago. Glenn Stewart nearly missed this game with an ankle injury. Steve Maddai is there as well. And Brent Kite. And Des Hasler trying to look after his troops as Cuthbertson offloads, finds Menzies.
Menzies and Cuthbertson combining again. Another phase. He's done a couple of good things, a couple of nice touches by Cuthbertson in the last few minutes of the game. Now to the short side, Brett Stewart, Adam Cuthbertson again. Here's Barney. Barney's on a run for the corner. He bumps away. He goes in field. He gets it to Williamson. He scores a try. Williamson seals Manley into the grand final.
Barney. What about Mr. Barney with the play he puts on here? This is brilliant stuff. Wonderful play inside by Stewart and Cuthbertson to put him away. But young Michael Barney still had plenty to do. The cover coming across, no support. Big right foot step, bang, in he goes. Collision, bang, spins out of it. Hunts back in field, sees the try line. Suddenly the support comes and the one-hander away to Williamson to score. Well done, young man.
And just have a look on the inside of Williamson is Adam Cuthbertson. He threw a pass on the other side to Watmo for the line try, and he threw the ball on this right-hand side to put his outside men away. You're spot on, Ray, when you say he's had some nice touches. We saw a couple of them in a few moments there. Just have a look at the 21 in the headgear. Takes a Brett Stewart pass, catch, offload, lovely. And then he doesn't stay there. He supports on the inside. This man, only his 3rd game in the top grade. Into Bowen. Spins, stays alive. Off to Williamson. And there's Cuthbertson there, the first to congratulate.
This score, in all honesty, and I don't want to be rude to the North Queensland people, should be about 40-6. They've easily been the better side, Manly. Cowboys were extremely brave to hang in as long as they did. As Orford gets it inside the post this time. But Rabbits, you've really got to enjoy how Manly have resurged since they were out of the competition years ago. And the way they've come back into this position. The way they've strengthened their club, recruited so well, and the job Des Hasler has done in rebuilding what was a club that was facing extinction.
Well, they were dim, dark days, weren't they?
Oh,
3 years of the Northern Eagles. They came back in 2003, finished 14th, 2004, 13th. But the recruitment has been tremendous. They have gone for quality over quantity.
Everything you say is right. And during the war, they spent many, many thousands of dollars that they could ill afford to spend. And I remember when Paul Vorton was chairman, he was telling me the handout from the Leeds club to the football club was only minimal. It has been a tremendous resurgence by the Peninsula club. Matthew, sideline.
Yeah, just talking about this man. As Sterling spoke about him before, Adam Cuthbertson, geez, he makes a big difference. See guys in the middle like Kite and King use brute force and power. He just a little bit more variation, sleight of hand, mixes it up beautifully.
This is Bryant with the ball. Halfway line, 3 minutes of the game remaining. The first grand final qualifier, Manley to go through. 28-6. Peter mentioned earlier in the preview about the number of teams that have had the week off. Monahan taken a shade late, but you wouldn't penalise that. Bowen over to the 13, Henry, who is taken by Bell and Barney. He's had a very good game, Barney. The young man from the Torres Strait Islands who was hunting dugong with his friends and relatives just recently before coming down to Manley and joining up with Noel Cleal and the recruitment plan at Manley. Bryant on, Orford away, Watmo with it, taken down by Lillyman in 16. Yes, in the McIntyre system, those that have had the rest in the McIntyre system since it began, those that have had the rest have only won 50% of games. Here is Cuthbertson out the back. There was a touch from the Cowboys, and this will be a knock-on against the Cowboys. I would read this as a Manly feed, though some people might think Menzies has knocked on. He has. Hasler's coming down out of the bench.
He's a quiet achiever, isn't he, Des Hasler? Was as a player, is now as a coach. One of the nicest blokes you ever meet in the game, and I've got to say, Ray, much of my career was against that man. I still rate him as the best competitor I ever came up against. And I did play against plenty of good ones, but none better than him.
You certainly did. You certainly did. Peter Sterling. The battles between him and Mortimer, and there he is telling us that Hasler was the fiercest competitor he came up against. Jamie Lyon on the 20-metre line, almost on the touchline eastern side. Watmo reeling, pushing, losing the ball. And that is Aaron Payne coming 15 away from the Cowboys line. Graham Murray, the defeated coach tonight. And the end of a career for Paul Bowman, and the end of a career for Jason Smith. There is Jason. This is his 5th club. He debuted back in 1990. It's been a magnificent effort by Jason Smith and, of course, by Paul Bowman. But tonight, it is exit. 28-6. 10 seconds to go. Manley, 5 tries, 4 goals. Cashmere gets a pass away. Bounces to Farah. Had Henry on his left. Gets the pass away before hitting the ground. Menzies razzle-dazzles. Cuthbertson puts in a kick. There is something he can't do, and that's kick. It's over. Manley are through. Manley have booked an appointment at Telstra Stadium tomorrow week. The successful coach and the vanquished. Ray Cashmere, a great season. Michael Monahan, what about his performance? Ben Kennedy talks to the coach. Kennedy, they say, was put on contract of $1 before the 30th of June. Monahan just running through camera. We talked about him at length at halftime. Why is he going back on? He's not right. He's not in charge of his senses. But he starred. Brilliant effort by Michael Monahan. Sadly, we're losing him to Super League. Matty Johns.
Yeah, Rab's down here with the skipper. The skipper is on his way to the grand final, Matty Orford. How's that feel?
Oh, mate, yeah, that's unreal. That's what you play footy for. You know, we've got a big week ahead of us, but shit, that's an awesome feeling, mate.
You must have repaired well. I thought you probably had to go at 5%, 10% after the South game, but you found it tonight.
Yeah, mate, we did. We had a good week. Mate, credit to our forwards again. They stepped up. You know, we just played to it, you know, the systems we had and structure we had. And, mate, everyone played out their skin. We just need it again next week.
What about for you personally, up against the best player in the world, Dalian winner Jonathan Thurston? You know, in the build-up, does it play on your mind?
No, mate, not at all. I just, you know, I wanted to do as good as I could do for the team, and you know, I've done that tonight, and I think everyone just played their part, and you know, we got a great win.
Ox, congratulations. Well done, skipper. Enjoy the week, pal. Over to you, Vossi.
Yeah, Matty, look, it's a tough night for Paul Bowman. He's just played his last match in the National Rugby League game, 202, and Paul, the Cowboys were on a great roll and have come up 1 game short this year.
Yeah, look, we just had to do a ton of defending tonight. Just didn't have much ball. It's just the way it went, and boys hung in there till the end, but you know, all that ball counted against us at the end there.
Can you put us in your shoes right now, that the career ends and it's here on a night like this?
Oh, I've had a great career. You know, I haven't got any regrets really. We're on a great roll, and it was just good to get this far. You know, we lost so many players throughout the year, but guys just kept stepping up, and just, you know, proud to be a part of the club. And you know, a lot of guys don't play 10 first-rate games, let alone 200, so I'm very happy.
Well, I'm sure plenty of people back watching up in all right throughout Queensland, and in particular in the north, are proud of you. Well done, great career.
Thanks, mate. Can I just say hello to Grace and Harry at home?
Good on you, Paul. Back to you, Matty.
Yeah, thanks, Fossey. I'm down there with Beaver Menzies. Beaver, you've been to the grand final 3 times. Now, what about this one? How does this team compare?
Yeah, it's got to be up there. You know, I think there's lots of similarities. You know, I thought our defence was pretty good tonight, and still got a bit of work to do, but it's great to get there, and good to see plenty of supporters out here.
Well, mate, as I said, you've been there plenty of times. What's the one piece of advice you're going to give to guys like Cuthbertson and whatnot, people that haven't been there before, young guys?
Just take the whole weekend. You know, it's just a great experience. The whole week's completely different to any other week you'll experience in footy, and you know, just prepare like a normal game and get out there and have no regrets, I suppose.
Beav, congratulations. Another great game tonight, and mate, enjoy the week.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
I know. Back to you, Rabs.
Thank you, Matthew. So Manley are through to a grand final, the first since 1997. We're nowhere near finished yet, so don't leave us. After the break, we'll bring you all the latest interviews, breaking news, injury updates from both sheds. Matthew Johns will have the Bundaberg Rum Man of the match, and our expert panel will preview tomorrow's big one, the Storm versus the Eels in Melbourne. All this coming to you live on the home of NRL Finals Football, Channel 9.
Welcome back to Nine's Finals Football, and I'm joined by a man who played in the second row for Manly. It was absolutely fantastic, Anthony Watmo. What about back over there? Hardly anyone's left their seats. What a night for the club.
Mate, it's what can we say, mate? Thanks to all the crowd for turning up. The boys really dug in deep, and mate, we're 1 win away.
What about your game tonight? That was one of the best performances from yourself personally all year, or for the club.
Yeah, we just tried to sort of beat them in their own game, get the quick play the balls, and try and work them around in tight to the ruck. And full credit, mate, when I can run off the back of some big boppers, it makes my job a lot easier.
Talk us through that quick tap. That was a beauty. Well, you just dropped it on the tail.
Yeah, I tried to go real quick, and he wouldn't let me go. So, mate, I was just lucky. I caught him a bit lazy going back, and mate, what can I say? I was a scab try, but I'm glad to have one.
Chalk, well played tonight, and mate, look, just enjoy the week. It'll be fantastic.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to all the Manly boys and all our Manly crowd, mate. So thanks for coming down and supporting us.
See you at the chicken shop. Over to you, Vossi.
Thank you, Matty. Look, the Manly players are being called in right now. Des Hasler wants them to get in, but Adam Cuthbertson, a real quick word with a young bloke who's off to play a grand final next week.
That's right. Can't wait, mate. It's been a buzz the last 2 games, and just unbelievable, mate. That last 10 minutes when I was on there, I was just thinking about it, but trying to get the game on as well, because we're a bit up. But mate, awesome feeling.
For a young bloke who is a rookie in first grade, it didn't appear to us watching the game you're feeling any pressure. You're out there still doing everything you would have done in, say, round 10 this year, round 15. The fact it was a grand final qualifier, was the mindset any different?
I didn't try to think about it like that, mate. The boys, we all believe in ourselves and we believe in each other. We turn up every week and do it for each other. So, you know, you can go out there with that sort of confidence, I suppose, because you know they're just going to be inside, outside, you're backing you up all over the field. So, yeah, don't have time to think about it, just get it done.
All right, what about you on the lap of honour? You couldn't get the smile off your face all the way around. You've high-fived everyone in the crowd, I think.
Yeah, my wrist's a bit sore now. I might have to get physio because of that. No, it's just awesome to see a crowd like this, you know. Been following Manly for a junior, so when you see them out like that, you've got to really appreciate it, and, you know, you've got to give it to them. They've come out and thousands, so, yeah, no, it's good. You've got to get around there.
Good on you, Adam. I don't want to get you in trouble. You better get into the rooms, mate. Well done. We'll see you next week. Sterlo, what about that? A young bloke on his way to the grand final, and so damn happy.
He's a fine young prospect and about to experience one of the great weeks of his life. The week leading up to a grand final, you don't want to get carried away with it, but you really want to enjoy it and savour it. And the Manly players, I'm sure, will do that, courtesy of this 28-6 victory over the Cowboys. Brett Stewart, Bell, Lyon, Watmo, and Williamson all crossing. Matt Orford kicked 4 from 7. Jacob Williman got the lone try for the Cowboys. That was converted by Jonathan Thurston. Nick Gould and Ben Eichen. What did you make of that 80 minutes?
Well, Look, I think simply that the Manly Seagulls, they played smart footy. Look, they defended a lot. We know that they can defend. They kept an intensity at a very high level across the full 80 minutes, and off the back of that, what they did is they played very direct. You mentioned it, Matty Johns mentioned it, off the back of Michael Monaghan. They ran some of those big forwards continually all day long at the Cowboys forwards. In the end, it sapped the juice of the Cowboys big boys. Once they got them on the back foot in defence, Thurston and the rest of the defensive line, it turned into disarray, and the space just kept opening up, and Manly took advantage of it.
Well, what the Manly side did tonight was what the Bulldogs and the Warriors didn't do in the last 2 weeks. They played really fast out of dummy half. Monaghan was the key to that, and from there they were able to turn the opposition around. Once you turn the Cowboys around, their defence is pretty brittle, and they virtually split them at will. The right score here tonight was about 50-0. That was the right score in the run of play. The Cowboys were really tough and brave the way they hung in for as long as they did, and to actually draw level at half-time was a great result. But they were never going to win. Manly was all over them this whole match, and it's a real reward for what Manly have done this year. They've put a high price on the 2 points every time they've played. They've been consistent all year. They've prepared themselves for sudden death football. Whoever they play next week, they'll be hard to beat.
That was a really interesting shot just in the sheds then. No high-fiving from the players. Des Hasler knows that they're excited, but just keeping the lid on things, knowing that there's one more to go.
He's a miser.
Well, don't get carried away. You can't get carried away. Enjoy.
We've all done the high-fiving thing, and it's come back to haunt us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you get into your first grand final. You know, that club has got great grand final experience. Yeah. There'll be plenty of old heads in there just settling down things a little bit. Plenty of young blokes think, geez, we're off to the grand final, we're off to the grand final, which is exactly what you don't want leading into this week, but I'm sure they'll handle it.
Well, it finished 5-1, and the Bundy big plays come to you this way. We had to wait half an hour for the first try, then 3 came in the next 10 minutes. A couple of soft ones for Manly tonight, none softer than this.
No, well, he fooled everyone. You know, and it's a pet play of his, the dummy half surge. He scored a few tries from there, and it was just a bad read by the Cowboys, who up until that time had been pretty brave.
This was on the stroke of half-time and a real confidence booster with Lilliman scoring.
And I thought this would have set the Cowboys back out in the second half with a hell of a lot of momentum. It was actually the Seagulls that started the first half the better. Look, they ground away for the first few minutes. They got themselves in a position, good field position. There was just smart thinking from the second row, Anthony Watmo.
This was the best try of the night for mine, Gus. It was, again, on the lead-up, the quick play the balls.
Typical big game try, you know, where the ball goes one way, the defence relaxes on the other side of the field. Suddenly it's coming back your way and you're found short and you don't get up to make the coverage. They scored some lovely tries at the back end, Manly, and you could tell, even though they were dominant early, there was something fresh and vibrant about this side for the week off, and they were always going to finish powerfully, and they got the job done nicely. This young fella set this up beautifully.
And the bench players played very well also. Like this man, as we point out, just 3 games. He's on the big stage here tonight, but the bench were good.
So that was the key for me this weekend. This is what I've been looking for. In Manly and the Storm, who've been so dominant all year, and who have been so disciplined and really gone out and played to a high standard every week, we're playing 2 sides that are brilliant football teams, but haven't always played with that same sort of passion and that same sort of standard. And it was whether or not you've got to do that all year to win a comp, or whether or not you can just blow in the semi-finals and suddenly get it done. Well, Manly have shown tonight that they get a reward for all the hard work they've done. They and Melbourne are the 2 best teams in the competition this year. They deserve to play in the grand final. But Parramatta might have something to say about that tomorrow.
Well, they will be sitting back now, Manly, watching tomorrow afternoon in earnest, hoping that it goes to a couple of extra times or whatever, take some juice out of the opposition. They are there. We'll come back with our Bundy man of the match in just a moment. We'll take a quick break and straight back live to the Sydney Football Stadium. Plenty of smiles in the Manly dressing room. Realisation that they know that they are the first team through to next week's grand final. Signature tune going around the Sydney Football Stadium has been Eagle Rock. And the players in good voice there after this 28-6 victory over the Cowboys. Very strong performance. For the first hour, it was tough work, but in the last 20 minutes, they looked excellent. And I thought, we spoke about Matt Orford earlier tonight, But I thought it was probably as good a game as I've seen him play at a high level.
I think from the get-go he was great. I mean, he came into the game with a great level of enthusiasm. He was very busy. We all know he can get in there and do the tough stuff, but it was important for him tonight to play for the team and less for himself. I think that one chip kick there in the second half kind of highlighted what he can do and what he's capable of. But he turned that around, and what he did was he directed his team really well. He worked well with Michael Monaghan. I think he proved today that he's a finals footballer. He really came of age out there tonight.
Yeah, so much better decision-making for the bulk of the game tonight from Matt Orford. He was in contention for our man of the match, but let's find out who was tonight's Bundaberg best.
Yeah, boys, the $1,000 Bundaberg Run Man of the Match goes to, well, guess who? Michael Monaghan. Monners, firstly, how are you?
Yeah, coming good now. A little bit rattled there in the first half, but cleared up at half-time and, enjoyed the second half.
What was it? Just a bit of a knock to the head?
Yeah, I think I copped a knee and was a little bit out of it, a bit of deja vu, but cleared up and come good.
Well, it should happen more often. I've never seen you play better than that second half. It was, but yeah, the game plan tonight, a lot more work off you and dummy half. You're one of the real focal points of their attack.
Yeah, it was something we aimed at during the week was a lot more work out of dummy half, and I think our quick blokes, Mick Banney and Michael Robson, did a lot of work out of there as well, so I think I probably paid dividends.
Now, Desi's a bloke, very conservative. Every time we see him, he always wants to play things down. What did he say after the game?
I think we're the underdogs already, he said, and told us to play it down. We're going to enjoy being there, but, it's an old saying that no one remembers who lost the grand final. So we'll enjoy the occasion, but, we've got a lot of hard work to do and hopefully put in a good account next week.
Monners, congratulations. $1,000 coming away from Bundy Rum. And, mate, last game for Manly coming up. Might finish on a high note for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Definitely enjoy my time here, and thanks to Bundaberg, and hopefully have a good one next week. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, huge effort tonight from Michael Monaghan. They might give him a clip around the ear before he runs out next Sunday night, just to get him going. It was an outstanding performance. I remember, Gus, down that Origin time, you said that he might not be the best, but you can win with him. I think we saw that again tonight. Let's hear what his coach had to say.
Well, Sterlo, there's a lot of maroon and white pride in this Manly dressing room tonight, and a really proud man is the Manly coach, Des Hasler. First of all, personal congratulations. As still a relative rookie in the coaching ranks, you've got a team to the grand final.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great for the players involved. It's going to be a tremendous week for them, like a grand final week, and making a grand final is a tremendous achievement in anyone's terms. I've got to say, I've really got to thank the fans. I thought it was great, like 90% of the fans. I think it was a comment during the week that our fans wouldn't come across the Spit Bridge, but they turned up in droves tonight, so that was great.
Michael Monaghan, in his man of the match interview, talked about what you said to the players after the match. What's the crux of the message to the players on full time tonight?
Yeah, mate. Look, it's got to be. It's just a fine line, isn't it? We'll enjoy tonight, and they've been. I've got to say they've been really good right through the final series. They know what is expected. We'll get back in there tomorrow morning. We'll get our feet back on the ground and prepare for another week for another battle.
Now, a few other things. You're in a situation where this year, along the way, you have beaten Melbourne and you have beaten Parramatta. So do you have a preference about who wins tomorrow?
I'm glad you corrected that. We've had wins against both sides, and I just wanted to go hard. Both sides go real hard tomorrow, and whatever, regardless, it's going to be a great game next week.
All right, and as for selections towards next week, I had a quick chat with Chris Hicks on full time. He said that he would be right for the grand final. You got a bloke you sent out there tonight, Michael Barney. His third first-grade game, set up a try, did everything right. Did everything you could have possibly asked of him.
Yeah, he had a tremendous game, Michael, and Michael's only come down from the Torres Islands this year, and I've got to, as well as giving Michael a tremendous rep. The staff, the staff that work with Michael, the staff that work with me have just done a tremendous job in being able to to work with Michael, and he's done the rest. So for him personally, he's shown that he's got a great career in the NRL, hasn't he?
All right, Des, just very quickly too, Steve Maddai, the injury tonight, anything serious?
No, nothing too serious, mate. We've got some bumps and bruises and that, but we've got a week to prepare, and we'll assess it more on Monday, but I think everyone came through unscathed.
All right, Des, well, you've said you hope that the players enjoy the week. Can I say to you, I hope you enjoy the week as a first-grade coach with a team in the grand final. Well done so far this year.
No, there's a bit of work to be done. Thank you.
Thanks for your help again tonight. Back to you, Sterlo.
Yeah, very happy for Des Hasler. Unlike a Jason Taylor, Ricky Stewart really didn't appeal as a natural coach after his playing days, but he certainly stepped into the breach beautifully. And I think, Gus, you can see more refinement in his coaching now. Early on, he just wanted everyone to be as fit as he was, which was an impossibility. But now he understands what it's all about, I think.
I think he's done a wonderful job with that club. And they've recruited very well too. But you think about Manly, where Manly were when he first got there. and what the expectations were. And every year it's been a methodical process, and it's been an improvement. You can see the improvement every year, to the point where halfway through this competition I thought we'd see them in the grand final where they are right now. Going back to Michael Monaghan, for him, he epitomises everything I look for in a player in big match football. You know what you're going to get. He's tough, he's resilient, and I think his attitude really helped Manly tonight, because they could have fallen into frustration when things weren't going their way and they were making busts and not scoring, and tried something different. He kept saying, no, this is the plan. Let's keep going here, let's keep going here. And he just kicked the door down and won the game. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge performance. 22 points they've won by Manly tonight. It was pretty close up till half-time, but they will take on an opponent next weekend. We will determine that tomorrow afternoon down at Telstra Dome. We'll take a break now and come back and have a look at the Parramatta-Melbourne clash.